Welcome to chapter 38. We are in the penultimate regular chapter before we come to the grand final revision. And grammar. Before the big topic in today's grammar block is going to be composition, but before we get to that, we have some stray points. And we're really scraping at the bottom of the barrel of morphosyntax in these last chapters, just finding the last little morsels of Mari morphosyntax that we know that students should know of. So the first point we have is, a long time ago, we met the language adverbials in la, when we would have, for example, Sved being a Swede and Svedla is in, Svedla is in Swedish as an adverb, like my Svedla kutarem, I speak Swedish, for example. The little note here is that one can also attach the illative ending, the illative ending to this, as one can the postposition gut from, and have things like Svedla gut from Swedish, Svedlaske into Swedish. So you can, for example, say that you are translating, if you're saying that I'm translating a book from Finnish into Swedish, you could say my tide knigam Svedlagic finlaske kusarem. You can also just say Sved Yilme Gich Fin Yilmeshke or so, just having Yilme as a noun and then putting the appositions or case endings to that, but you can also do it on the la form. So next grammar point we have, yeah.
One question.
Yes.
The initive, does that work too, or? No,
as far as I should check in the corpus again before I make too wild a promise, but as far as we could, we tried this with our native speaker, and like Svedlaste was like, no, that doesn't work at all. It feels redundant because you already have, Svedla already is in Swedish, kind of. So, yeah. Okay, next point we have is a little emphatic, a little construction that is used for emphatic negation. It is impersonal, but the person well, it's impersonal in the sense that we have no verbal marking of the person, but we often in the pronoun have the person who it is about. And that is that we do normalizations in mash and couple that with uke to say that somebody doesn't do something at all. You will emphatically deny that you would ever even think about this thing. Like me shilem kochmash uke. I don't eat meat like at all. Like if somebody is vegetarian, they would say this. Or me tigayam ishtemash nigunam uke. I would never do something like that. This is like almost like pearl clutching, like you're denying that you would ever even think about doing such a thing, that you probably did if you're saying it like this. And yeah, the last one would be like you never smoke. I don't smoke at all. Or no, he, she, they. Yes, on dak to the tamakam shupshin. Earlier, they, she smoked tobacco. In the to the tamakam shupshmash uke. Now, not at all. Okay, those were the two little points, and now we are coming to the topic of composition, which is mostly just some revision, but also like there are going to be some new things about it. And when looking at composition, we're first going to be looking at form, and then we're going to look at function. First, we're going to look at a few mechanisms that are in play when compounds are formed, and then we are going to look at the types of compounds. Sorry, one moment. I just realized that I made some changes to this slide set to check. Such a okay, are we back on? Can you see the slides again? Okay, sorry. the first point that we are going to look at is what historically was fricatization or fricativization. I'm not sure which one would be more correct. I'm going to look this up afterwards. This is a historical process that is not visible as that anymore because the voiced fricatives have been replaced with stops in Mari. But historically, what happened is that if you had between two voiced sounds, sorry that the V is, I mean, V looks like vowel. It is mostly vowels, but it can also be voiced consonants like an M or an L or whatnot. If you between two voice sounds have a P, it became a V. If you had a K, it became a H. And if you had a T, it became a D. So the voice at the same place of articulation, the voiceless stop was replaced by a voiced fricative. And nowadays they're pronounced as G and D, so as stops, and this one, the W became replaced with the Russian V, so it's still fricative, but not at the same place of articulation. But yeah, this is what the process was. And this we see sometimes in compounds. And I am guessing that we have had compounds in the textbook where you could observe this process. And I mean, at the very beginning, I think we might have even mentioned it, but we can look at it in practice. So starting with Luan, everybody gets one compound to form and then guess what it might mean. Luan then gets a second one. So Luan starts up here in the top left.
So sugar plus village is sugar village.
Very good.
Okay, yes.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't let you translate. Sorry, I was too fast. Okay, then Sonia.
Yeah, Jeremy, I only have a question, like, how comes that there is the word for face, sugar, and then you have another word for face, like sugar village? Is there any difference, like?
That's a very good question.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're briefly going to, I have this on my agenda for when we come to discussing the function of the compounds. It's like fairly typical for the Volga combo languages to have these coordinating compounds where you will have attached two somehow similar concepts. And I can only give here we tried to figure this out also when working in the dictionary, and the best sense that we can get is that sugar, like historically more meant sort of in the sense of was like cheeks and sort of like this part of the face. So it's like this part of the face plus this part of the face is then the face as a whole. Mm-hmm. But sometimes with these compounds, it's really tricky. Like, I mean, my one that drives me nuts is the word for orchard in Mari. So like a garden for fruit trees is satpakcha, which is just the juxtaposition of the Russian word for garden and the Turkic word for garden. And you take two words for garden from two different languages, you stick them together, and that's in a particular type of garden. Why? The Mari language has no obligation to explain itself to us, basically. Yeah. Okay, but you get a more straightforward one.
Okay, yeah. Una and kudo, una kudo, and it's a hotel.
That is correct. Then Sandra?
We have kava and tur, which makes cavalier. Sky, no, wait, horizon, I think.
That's correct, yes, very good. Then Valentina?
Then we have tool plus tur, which would become a tool dur. Fire plus edge. Can it be a flame, maybe?
Yeah, this one is not quite that transparent. It's like a place by a campfire.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and Luan?
Then kid plus pasha.
Yes.
So I have to admit, I just looked it up in a dictionary, and dictionary says that the plosive at the beginning of pasha is still like voiceless as kid pasha, not like kid vasha or something. Okay, so
that is correct. It was a trap. It was a trap, but here's now the extra question: why? Why is it kit pasha and not kit vasha?
don't know, but I think like intuitively I would have like done it like this, like Kit Pasha, but I don't know why.
Yeah, like I think intuitively you already know something about this. Does anybody else?
So probably because like the Kit and the like plosive in the final position is like actually pronounced voiceless.
Exactly.
Okay.
I saw Sandra. Was that what you were going to say? Yeah. So D in the final position, you write it as D, but that's not what you pronounce. You pronounce it as Kit. It's a voiceless plosive. So you don't have the motivational factor here for this. About this rule, one thing I was going to say is that it is somewhat like there's a lot of variation around this with different orthographic norms. In some orthographic norms, they said that, well, you would that we don't even if people pronounce it like this, we don't have to write it like this. So you would find like cavature with a T in older Mari texts without any problems. And so we try to, in the dictionary, also like program into some flexibility, because there is some variation in how the Maris themselves do this. Okay, the next point that we have, vowel loss, that sometimes when a compound would give us a strange combination of vowels, one of the vowels just goes away and makes life easier. Thus, it is, I mean, it's very straightforward in my opinion. If we have a voice, an unstressed final vowel like O, E, O, Ö, since, I mean, those often disappear before inflectional suffixes too, but even a final E that usually would not disappear before inflectional suffixes can disappear in some cases. Okay, so we have 3 examples and we start with Sonia.
Yumo and Onga, so it's Yumonga, and it's sort of like a picture of, like a whole picture or picture of sense or something like that.
Yes, exactly, an icon, it is, yeah. These are a big deal in Russia, that like a lot of, you go, if you get into like these little buses, these marshutkas or whatnot, the drivers will often have little icons on their windowsill and whatnot. And I've even seen, I don't even want to just say Russians like East and South Slavs do this also outside of their respective countries. That like I have seen these Eastern Southern Slavic type icons all over. Right, then Sandra.
Yeah, my favorite kind of place to put an icon was when I was living in Vilnius. There was like St. Paul, an icon of St. Paul over the washing machine. I loved it.
Great.
You need to send us the link.
So we have Isis small and Ter, the sleigh, which we have met very, very early as is there.
Yeah. So that's in sled. Here I like the English words get me confused here sometimes too. But ter is something that would be drawn by horses, and is there is something that a child would go down the hill on. Yeah, and then Valentina gets the last one.
Okay, so Rudo plus Ola, Rudola, it's a capital.
Exactly. Okay, and last point that we have, so the hard sign that we have, that like at the very beginning, when I introduced the hard sign, I was kind of stumbling to even justify its existence because we need it so little. And I mean, you will have noticed that we have not used it very much in our travels through Mari, but we do on occasion need it, because it's important to note that these 3 sound combinations that we have here, even though they might sound the same to our ears, they do not sound the same to Mari ears. And like the best I can do would be new, new, and new. So we have either a palatal followed by an U, a palatal followed by a Y followed by a U, or a non-palatal followed by a U. And these three, the second two combinations that we have here, these do not occur within a stem in Mari. Like Mari phonotactics don't usually allow for these, but if we have compounds, it can occur on the boundary between compounds. This is fairly similar also in, I don't know if it is as strict, but I would say it's fairly similar in Russian too, where you don't usually have like the hard sign within native stems, but you have it sometimes in borrowed stems, like and sometimes you have it with prefixes and whatnot. Okay, but then we will see, we will have 3 examples here where yeah, you can form them. Okay, I mean, this is stupid to do in spoken, but yeah, since I mean you already know that we want the hard sign in all of these, but still we will start with Luan.
So onchil plus yang is onchil yang, and it means like leader or leading person or something.
Yeah, yeah, especially it can be like in the, as somebody who's like in the avant-garde or whatnot, like in art or whatnot. And I think here with yeah, it is fairly transparent, because if we didn't have it, if it was just onchil and then this, we would read it as onchileng, and but we wanted to have onchil yang. Yeah, then Sonia.
Jure and Yush.
Mm-hmm.
Yush.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's the air around the globe, so atmosphere.
Exactly. Very good. And this is a neologism that you find it in newer text sources, but like we had to do some talking with Emma and Galina, that they were not enthusiastic to have this as an example because they didn't know it, but it's like we wanted to illustrate this mechanism with a U thing, and there's so few of it. But yeah, but I mean, this process, the place you see it most often is in compounds with yang, like business yang and per yang, the man and whatnot. Okay, and then Sandra gets one.
So puncher and yao, puncher, yeah, the place name.
The place name, yeah. The often used place name, which translates into Russian as Sosnovka, and they not only do you have them all over Russia, you have them all over the Mari-speaking lands too. Like I have been to a pinchariat, but it's not the one that is talked about in this textbook. So basically what is happening with the hard sign, the way you can imagine it is that if you at the end of your word have a non-palatal sound and you have a yotated letter coming afterwards, and you want to like save the non-palatal sound from palatalization, you put in the hard sign between the two to prevent a palatalization from occurring. Okay. Yeah, so this is, the meme is not on the version of the slide I'm putting online because copyright concerns, but for the video that's on YouTube, that's gonna be fine. Okay, I'll also put it in the Discord group. Okay, so that's it when it comes to the formal side of compounds, and now I come to the functional side. Unless, are there any questions still? Okay, like one thing I didn't mention now is that like the way the hard sign works here, but sometimes we will also have the soft sign in compounds between the two elements, but we didn't have this as an own point because those words that have like a soft sign between at the end before the second element, they have the soft sign also if there is no compound. So the soft sign doesn't appear. It's just a hard sign that suddenly seems to come out of nowhere in these fringe cases. Okay, so nominal compounds, I have here a classification on depending on what the first element of the compound is. And first, we're going to look at some examples that are noun plus noun. I believe it was Valentina was up next. So yeah, if we have, for example, these. And just as a note, I'm not going to mention the whole formal side of it anymore at all. You should try to remember if you need to do a fricativization or something like that now. But okay, Valentina.
Okay, so we have mot plus wash, so
Uh-huh.
it's the same as in English, I guess, a word stem.
Exactly.
And yeah, it's the same. Yeah.
Yeah, nothing weird happening here. Then Luan.
So vaksh plus ku becomes vakshku, so it means millstone.
That's exactly it. So yeah, two nouns being stuck together, not very shocking, I would say. We can also have an adjective and a noun forming a compound. Like for example, Sonia.
Shem and Shidang. Shem Shidang. Is it with the in between, and it sounds weird, but like wheat? Is it a type of wheat?
Yeah, it's buckwheat.
Yeah. But okay, buckwheat. Okay.
Yeah, and it's Shem Shidang without the E in there. Okay, and then Sandra gets
Izzy und Ying. Could be that the I is deleted.
Yeah, it isn't, but yeah, it could have been. Yeah.
Okay, but then Izzy Ying. Okay, chopped. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we could also have, in some cases, we could have adverb plus noun, like this one goes to Valentina.
Okay, that's Pochlamut, so it's a proverb.
Yeah, we already know that. So like a poem, more like. So like a word in which the words are strung and whatnot. So all of these compounds that we are looking at here, they are all so-called subordinating compounds, which is to say that we have a hierarchical structure within these compounds. We have the head, which is the second element, and the dependent, which is the first element that defines what kind of thing it is. We have a root. What kind of root? A word root. We have a stone. What kind of stone? A millstone. We have a word. What kind of word? One after the other word. The other group of compounds, which is of greater importance in the Volga-Kama region than it is elsewhere in Europe, are the so-called subordinating compounds, in which we have the two elements of the compound are equals, so to say. We do have them in more Western languages too, like Northwest would be an example of a coordinating compound, where it's like, it's not like what kind of West, the Northwest, no, it's like the Northwest, they're two equal partners, and the concept is created on the intersection of these two compounds. And yeah, we already had an example with the sugar village before. And I believe that's the first one in the line here, so I'm going to skip over that one. But so what we will often have in the languages of the Volga-Kama region is that we will randomly pick two elements of a group and use the juxtaposition of those to refer to the group as a whole. And we'll have some examples of this later down the list here. Okay, but next up was Luan gets the next one.
So acha plus ava is achava with a hyphen between them, and it means parents.
Exactly. So no language of the Volga-Kama region has an own word for parents or parents. It's always just mother, father in all of the languages, well, except for Russian. Yeah. Okay, then Sonia.
Iza and Sholyo. So Iza, Sholyo, it's with hyphen again. And I would say these are like brothers or siblings.
Yeah. Brothers in general. Brothers. Yeah. It's kind of, I have seen like in reference to siblings so that nobody is left out. Iza Sholyo Shija Raka. Where I'm thinking, well, wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be more practical to do what the Tatars do, which is then that the Tatar word for sibling is Bertugan, which is like one born to the same person, and then that's also it's more inclusive. You can, it's gender neutral, works for everyone. But yeah, I have looked like if there are in like Eastern variants of Mari, if like the code copy of that, like ikshotcho or something like that is used not widely, it seems. Shame. Okay, then next up is Sandra.
Kümisch and Suvla. Yes, also Kümisch Suvla with a hyphen.
Yeah.
Like dishware.
Exactly.
Tableware.
Yeah, dishes in general. So this is now like an example of this what I was talking about. You take like the bowl and the spoon, and the two together are all the stuff that you have flying in your sink needing to be washed, basically. Yeah, and I think last one goes to Valentina.
And share plus Turek, so share Turek, and I think it was dairy products.
Exactly, like everything made of milk. No, there's one more. I'm sorry. Luan gets the last one.
So shim plus moksh is shim moksh, and it means like innards, I guess.
Yeah. All the organs you've got on the inside. Again, you pick two of them, and that means all of them. Okay, adjective or compounds, these are mostly coordinating compounds too. This is now less strange. If we have, for example, oshage, whitish, pale, and naranche, yellow, Sonia, what would that be?
I would like, are they compounded in a way that they're hyphenated?
Yes, that is
Yeah,
correct.
and I would expect that the meaning is something like yellowish or whitish.
Yeah,
No.
so whitish
Pale
yellow, pale yellow, however you want to translate it. There's actually an own dictionary of color terms in Mari.
Okay.
And it is absolutely full of just hyphenated versions of like two colors hyphenate together to create some new tone of a color. Yeah, and I think this is so trivial, I'm gonna do it myself. Vichkish, narrow, kuju together is vichkish kuju, and it's long and slender if you have both adjectives then. Or kuchik, short, and kuju, long is kuchik kuju, short and long, both of them. Okay, verbal compounds. Another thing that we have where we can distinguish between ones where we have an adverb. I think this stuff I'm just going to go over it fairly quickly myself because it is it's not productive enough to be something that I really feel like people should practice. So we can have just adverb plus noun plus verb. This is like sort of something going the direction of incorporation, something we have, like, I mean, German does this too sometimes. Like if you think of German verbs like Radfahren or whatnot, where basically the object becomes melded into the verb. Sandra, you were saying something? Okay. So it's like kit, hand, pistache, to put to place. We can have kit pistache to sign, but you can also find kit and pistache with accusative object. Or this one we have already met, vash, mutually together, plus liage, to be, to become, so to come together, to meet, vash liage. Yeah, and what we also sometimes have is two juxtaposed verbs that we take two verbs and we stick them together, like modash, to play, voshtelach, to laugh, modash, voshtelach, to have a good time, to laugh and play. And the tricky thing here, the critical thing here is that they are then inflected parallelly together. Like if we're saying we are enjoying ourselves, we are playing and laughing, it would be modena, voshtelena, that you have to have both in the same, inflect them in the same way. The same like ujalash, to sell, nalash, to buy, is then ujalash, nalash, which is basically to trade, to do commerce, to buy and sell, etc. This is more like a etymological note, because the four verbs that I have here are the totality of verbs that fall into this category, is that we have some cases where spectral converb constructions have been melded into single words, where if we take, for example, nalash, make a converb of it, nalen, and couple it with kayash. So to take and go, nalen kayash becomes, with enough time left out in the sun, it becomes nangayash. So we have the assimilation of the n becomes an n, and the l falls away, and that is to take something away. If we, on the other hand, say take nalen and miyash, coming somewhere, and nalen miyash, let it out in the sun for a long time, it becomes, the l drops out again, the n is assimilated to an m, and we get namiyash, to bring something. So these are by far the two most important ones you should know in this category, but then there is also from kayash, to go, kayen, vozash, like going, lying down, which for some reason means falling. Like if you slip on the ice and fall, it's kam vozash. And then there's also another one with not so transparent semantics. It's if you have purash, to go in, puren plus kayash, like going in, going, purengayash becomes to drown. And I don't have a good etymological explanation here. Okay, then we still have some adverbial compounds where this whole group is interesting, where we have this form and a, sometimes orthographically realized as ya, and here these we can practice again because this is a whole, like, productive is exaggerating, but it's a fairly big group of words, where we often will have some specification plus in a noun generally referring to a body part, like a foot, hand, head, or something like that. And it means like doing it with a hand like this, with a head like this, with a foot like this. This is going to make more sense when we look at specific example. So let's start with Luan. I don't know if it was your turn, but we can start from the top.
So can boot plus your foot leg plus becomes can your la. It means like with boots on the feet. So, okay.
Yeah. It's like bootedly, with wearing boots, you went out into the snow or whatnot. Then Sonia.
Yara and kid. Yara kida. Yara kida.
Do you?
Yeah.
It's like there's one thing that you still should do.
Yara kida. No.
What kind of sound is the ah?
Yeah, there is the change of gida, yara gida.
Exactly.
Yeah, thank you for reminding me. And it's empty-handed. That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, empty-handedly, with empty hands, something like that. Like, oh, we came as guests with empty hands, or something like that. Then Sandra.
Yushe and we. Maybe we delete the ö.
We just reduce it.
Okay. Yushe vuya. Hungover? No.
Yeah, so like, no, it's still an earlier stage, drunkenly.
Oh, okay.
With the drunken head. And then Valentina.
Nail plus yo and so I guess nil yola on all fours.
Exactly, like you're crawling on all fours or whatnot. So yeah, and these are then all forms that can be used as they're used as adverbs then all. Okay, then I think I'm going to do just quickly go over the rest too. We we've met a bunch of these already, but we have cases where we historically had a noun followed by a postposition that were just conventionalized in as adverbs, like tür, edge, gotch, over, through. So over the edge becomes tür, gotch, overly. And it's just using becomes an adverb. Or we had üstel, table, ymbalne, on top of. Those are then joined and becomes üstembalne, on the table, as an adverb, but they still keep the postposition or characteristic that they can take possessive suffixes. Üstembalnished, on their table, absolutely fine. Yeah, and then we can also have some adverbial compounds where we have just juxtaposition of two adverbs, like möngesh, back, and onyish, which is rarely used on its own, but in some dialects it does occur. Usually we would use onchiko here, but mengesh, onyish becomes then back and forth, back forth. Yeah, straightforward enough, I would hope. So last point in the when we look at compounds there are these sort of intensive forms, hard to put my finger on it on them exactly what they mean, where we basically do a juxtaposition of two non-finite verbal forms, one positive, one negative. Like if we have vuchash, to wait, we would say then vuchen, vuchedemen, which is then like the negative, the converb, the positive converb vuchen from waiting, waitingly. And then we do the negative participle, vuchedemo, unexpected, and then the instructive n onto it, vuchedemen, like unexpectedly, like waiting unexpectedly. And this is like sort of emphatically, unexpectedly, quite unexpectedly, something happens. And sometimes we can do the same thing with just the negative converb. So we have positive converb, negative converb, vuchen, vuchede, like waiting, not waitingly, and that means then quite unexpectedly. Yeah, and I mean, this is a process that is common enough that it's good to know it, but I mean, it's not extremely productive. These are the most important cases for it, that we have like shishin, shishdemen, quite imperceptibly, shishin, shishde, works the same, or chiten, chittedemen, quite impatiently, like if you're talking about a child who just can't take it anymore, or chiten, chittede. Okay, are there any questions about the whole area of compounds? Okay, then we are going to move on to further domain of weird verbal forms, and that is that there are these collective forms that are used from especially lower numerals that mean the of us, and the lower the numeral, the higher, the more commonly it is used. It doesn't work with one, of course, because the one of us doesn't make any sense. But for the two of us, for example, it is used fairly commonly. That we then have a stem that is, so like the format is in, but it's not fully regular. It is, it's kogen, like from kok, the k becomes g. So then we have the stem kogen, and we attach both a possessive suffix and potentially a case suffix to it. The later forms are somewhat weird. I should have actually had all three of these colored in a different color to draw your attention to it. That here, rather than we have these, we have kogelyana, that I can't exactly explain what is happening here, but that rather than having the palatable, we have the L in the dative ending became palatable. The Mari language does as it will do. But so in the other forms, it's always kogen plus possessive suffix plus case suffix. For three, we have kumen, and it's again perfectly regular everywhere except in the dative, where weird stuff happens again. And for four, we have nullen, and here it is regular everywhere, even in the dative. But then we would have, like in the dative, nullen, nya, lan, to the four of us, where it is nil, the four, then in, this collective formant, then na, possessive suffix, first person plural, and then dative. And in theory, it works with 5-2, with wiesen, blah, blah. Careful again that we have the sound change from ch to z here. But I mean, the higher the number, the less likely it is. Like, I haven't looked in the corpus specifically, but I think you would find a very clear slope that the two forms are used fairly commonly, the three forms less commonly, four even less, five even less, and with six we couldn't even find an example of like kudena or anything like that. So just some usage example, like, I mean, it's fairly straightforward. It's always just like the four of us, the two of us. Nominative forms often would be used with postposition, and like kogenja dech telat computerem perleklena, from the two of us we will give you a computer, or something like that. Yeah. So I know it's annoying to have these complicated, these irregular forms to learn, but are there any questions about these forms? Okay, then that's it for the grammar, and we can proceed to word and word usage, where we have 2 points on the agenda today. The first is a quick note on Рошто, Christmas, which we are going to be looking at. So this goes back to the Russian word Рождество, which is Christmas in Russian. And it's important to note, firstly, that this is specifically the Christian Christmas as an event. It is in Russia in general, the big thing for the children when the presents are given and whatnot, and when the tree is put up, is it's New Year. And that's the thing that really then matters for the conventional people. That's Ui, the New Year. Then we have the Mari feast of Shorek Yol, which just happens to happen at this time of the year. And then we have Рошто as Christian Christmas. But Рошто does not happen on the 25th of December, but on the 7th of January. And this is in line with something that if you go back, if you're dealing with Russian history prior to 1918, you will encounter this over and over again. Here as an example, gave you the Wikipedia article on Taras Shevchenko, the Ukrainian national poet. If we look at his biographical data, we're going to see something that we see about basically anyone who lived under the Russian Empire back in the day, that all the dates are given with a date and then another date, the old system. The reason for this is that Russia only switched to the Gregorian calendar as we use it in the West in 1918, only after the October Revolution. Before the October Revolution, Russia was still on the Julian calendar, the old calendar, and we had this difference of so and so many days, like over 2 weeks between the two calendars. Which means that, like, for people living back in the day, we have like the date as it would be according to our calendar, and then the date that you would actually find in the documents for them. Since this shift happened fairly recently, and since it happened since it was carried out by the militantly secular communist forces, the Orthodox Church continues using in its liturgical for its liturgical purposes the old calendar. And that's why you have these big shifts sometimes in dates between what they are in Russia and what they are in the West. And that's why Christmas is on the 7th of January. Any other questions about dates and Рошто? Okay, then the last point I have before we get to the text is deне, which we've just translated as with. And we have already seen that it has a very wide range of usages. And we're just going to have a quick summary of what these usages all are. None of them are, in my opinion, overly shocking and surprising, but we'll see. So the first usage we have for deне is co-participant, the person with whom one does something. Like I went to the cinema with my sister or whatnot. So with whom are Ivuk and Peter talking, for example. The second big meaning that we have, this is something that is actually somewhat unusual in this geographical area, is that it's also an instrument. Because like in this geographic area, you often well, not in the Volga-Kama region, but in general, the more towards the east you get, the more likely it is that you have a distinction between how an instrument and a co-participant are encoded. Like in Finnish, they're encoded in different ways. In Russian, they're encoded in different ways. But in Mari, they are not. It can also be the thing with which one does something, like I'm going to town with my tractor or whatnot. The tool that you're using to do something. You're writing with a pen. It can also mean by, along, down, like in a spatial sense, like you are walking by the forest, with the forest or whatnot. Like traktor chodera dené kuralesh, the tractor is plowing by the woods. Of course, we don't mean neither as an instrument nor as a co-participant in the plowing of the field is the forest involved. Yeah, and I mean, we see that ne, this is the old, like the locative format that we have, the locative suffix that we have in dené. It can be the material from which something was built, with which something is built, like a house that is made of brick or something like that. Kydene ishtemepert, a house made with stone, from stone. It can be the cause and reason of something. For example, like something that it burned because of the lightning strike. Like Avage oigodene chelanen, his or their mother felt ill from grief, with grief. Or I said it in anger. I tremble in fear, or something like that. It can be the inanimate agent. Like I'm putting this on the quotation marks because I mean, if it's not animate, many people would use the term agent, but I couldn't think of a better term for this. This is like if you are walking in the rain, you get wet from the rain. Then you can use dene for this, where you could say mlande jur dene mushkotesh. The land is getting washed by the rain. And I believe I've already discussed this, but I'll bring it up again briefly. So in Russian, you can, with the instrumental case, mark the agent of a passive clause, like I was seen by my friend or whatnot. You could use the instrumental case in Russian to say like who did something. In Mari, as it is used by young speakers, you will sometimes encounter this. And my favorite example of this is the Mari Wikipedia article on Antonio Vivaldi, where it says in the biography says that he was, something like Tudo akusherke dene tunesh puralten, or something like that. He was baptized with the midwife. And of course, since we know the biography of Vivaldi, and since from common sense, we know that he wasn't baptized with a midwife, he was baptized by his midwife. So, and this is something that like old-timey prescriptive sources of Mari would tell you that you're not allowed to do this, but Russian does it, and so younger Mari speakers are going to do this. Okay, so dene, it can also be used to mark like the subject matter of a book, a lecture, a concert, or whatnot. Like we can have a zoology dene uchebnik, a textbook with zoology. This is one that I found somewhat surprising when studying Mari back in the day, but yeah. Anthropologie dene specialist, a specialist of anthropology. Mari Ilme dene urok, a Mari language class, a class with the Mari language. Yeah, dene can also be used to indicate the quantity in which something is done, like by truckload or something like that. We can say, they sheared sheep by the hundreds, with hundreds, basically. Or the rain is falling with buckets, like in buckets. It can be also in a sort of connected with this. It can be like an amount of time in which something happened, like by months or so, or we can say some people work in one place for 20 years, kolo idene, with 20 years. Or yatak tilse dene, several months with, so workers have not received their salaries for months, in months, like indicating a time window. Yeah, and the last point that we have is government, or in German would be Rektion, and similar things in other European languages, when a verb just by its argument structure demands dene for one of the participants, where we can't give a good explanation of why this is the case. So, like, for example, salam lash, to congratulate, salam lem, I congratulate you with your birthday, I wish you a happy birthday. This is just, this particular one is a code copy, because Russian does it like this, and Mari has copied this structure from Russian. Yeah, or playing, if you play football, you play with football. Or if you agree with something, it also wants dene. One final note on dene that you will already know from other languages in Eastern Europe, Northern Europe, is that if you want to say you and I in Mari, you don't say something like "Muidatui," or I mean you can, but what you usually say is "Me tui denet," we with you. I know that Estonian does this, Russian does this. Does Czech do this actually, or not?
Do you mean like me and you, like we together?
Yeah, that instead of me and you would say we with you. I wouldn't.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, like probably I'm looking at it from a different perspective than you do, like me being the native speaker, but I can't think of the equivalent right now.
Yeah.
The IR.
Yeah. Doesn't seem to it seems to be a more Eastern thing than
could be
that.
yeah.
But does Czech do something like when you want to say I met with Valentina? Does it say like we met with Valentina?
Yeah. We can do that because we both participated in the activity, and I think that's one of the.
Also does, yeah.
Sorry.
That's what Lithuanian also does.
Yeah, and I think this actually causes mistakes when the Czech people try to speak, for example, English. That we met.
Yeah.
And so on.
Yeah. Okay, but are there any more questions about with? Okay, last point in word and word usage. I thought there were only two, but there were three actually, because there are some last auxiliary constructions, but these are the last auxiliary constructions. There are no more in chapter 39. The last modifiers that we look at, they are three modifiers that, as far as I can tell, basically have the same function, and the distribution is dialectal between them. That some, like these three verbs, they're basically synonyms and they have stronger positions in different dialects respectively. And that there are three verbs that mean to throw, or like to cast would be like from a bucket or so, like pouring a bucket of water in something. And kudaltash, to throw, this is a pretty important verb that we haven't really discussed much, because it also means like to abandon, but it also means like to dump in the romantic sense. Like if you're getting rid of a lover, then kudaltash is the verb to use. And like when we're using in auxiliary constructions, the whole aspect of throwing, casting, getting rid of something is transferred. It means that something is abrupt and uncontrolled in some way, like that you don't quite have the grip of what you're doing. You're like Yotashem muskaramlan seren kudaltish, like my friend getting angry through. So I mean, this is showing the friend didn't want to get angry, it's just involuntarily, uncontrolled, it happened. Or somebody getting scared or falling ill or whatnot. So then there's kishkash, same basic meaning, same function as an auxiliary. Like this is a nice one. Ivanov, onchich, oilen, kishka. First, Ivanov speaks, but like speaking throws, uncontrollably speaks. Varashona, and only then does Ivanov think. And then yeah, I hate this one because it is homonymous with shuash, to reach, in the infinitive, but second conjugation, shuash, shuem. Yeah, same thing. Like in my surprise, knigamat kidem gotch volten shuishem. Like I dropped my books. I didn't mean, like I let them down, but I didn't mean to, so I dropped my books from my hands or whatnot. Okay, any questions for any of the grammar or word usage stuff, or shall we progress to the text? Okay, so the text this week and next, we're just going to be looking at a whole bunch of Mari feasts and be reading basically one paragraph each. Mari Pairem calendar, the Mari feast calendar, and we are going to start with Luan, I would say.
So Kashna Galak in initiation to the Pairem Black Serastarat. So like different like celebrations, like decorate the life of every like people.
Very good. Then Sonia.
Mari kala kanat shkesunam bayramje ulo. So I was wondering about the meaning of Sanan.
Okay, so sun is like characteristic shape or something like that. And it is best to interpret this as part of a chunk shke sanan.
So like even the Mari, like, I mean, I understand the meaning of the words, but it's very difficult to put them together. Like the Mari people themselves, and then no, sorry, Jeremy, I'm lost with this sentence.
No problem. So it's like, it's not really the Mari people themselves. Shke is more, it belongs to the Sanan. So the Mari people, Pairemshe Ulo, they have celebrations. What kind of celebrations do they have? Some Shke Sanan.
Specific?
Like of their own type, like own characteristic, like of their own type, unique or something like that. Yeah. Okay, then Sandra.
Nuniko klagic shukist pasha da yesh ilish dene kildalt shukat. Among them, there are many that are connected with work and family life.
Okay. Then back to Luan.
Wait, where were we? Oh, sorry, y'all. Bayram. Wait, was this the sentence where we are?
Yes,
okay,
exactly.
Sorry, y'all. Bayram. Рошто, ik anja onchiso kuganyan pura janva dungalteste. So like the celebration Shorik y'all with like basically it's like held or something on the Friday before 1 week on the Friday 1 week before Christmas, or like Рошто at the beginning of January.
Yeah, it's not from this for me completely clear how exactly the calculation counts, but that's what it says. Yeah. Then Sonia, or did I skip over somebody?
Yeah, Valentina.
Skip me.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I can maybe do this one.
Yeah.
Kugarnia erdene udiramash plak paremlan chesim yamdelat. So on Friday morning, women prepare food for the celebration.
Yeah, and now we can skip over Luan and go to Sonia.
Okay. Kastene ieder den katjevlak shorakil mudash ik tashperteshkopognat. In the evening, young women or girls and boys they gather in some house and they play shorakyo.
Yes,
they kind of like perform. I was wondering like if it was related like to games, playing games, or like sort of like reenacting a sort of a scene or something.
There are all these customs associated with Shorekyol, and there's the YouTube clip this week pertains to that. If we manage to make it to that, would be interesting to look at that, where we see some of the Shorekyol customs. But yeah, then Sandra.
Tiražapis de iktash vere vaslikova den vaslikuveza aje shoregion maska mütcher sholep vorgimim vastalten chiat. Like during the time, like when the young people play, I guess. For indefinite form. I forgot what the iktash forms were.
So iktash vere is like somewhere.
Okay. Somewhere the vaslikova and the vaslikuveza, which are like masked people, the like an old man and a woman apparently, or the shohagyol bear,
Yeah.
and another masked person.
Yeah.
Wait, what was Sholip? They secretly switch clothing.
So we're going to see some of the video, but like the dressing up, there is some cross dressing and such going on then. Also, okay, then Valentina.
Okay. Vaslikugeza Vueshije Turka Upshalesh Kabeshije Ushgam Savirem Chia. So the old man puts on an old hat, and as well as wears a fur.
Yep, very good. And then Luan, and I think we're back in the cycle now.
Yes.
Okay.
So was this the Gamoncho sentence now?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so Gamoncho dene vasliku visand and vasliku schildische black Bartgich Bartisch kostet. So so I guess like it's like those hiding or like are those who are conceived like as vasik like this costumed man or and the masked woman are like going from house to house with harmonica.
Yes, with the harmonica player, and yes, it sounds a bit obnoxious. Then Sonia.
Jo, në mësur ozavlak silat the owners of the houses or the farmers treat them with food or offer refreshment.
Refreshments, yeah, it doesn't have to be fruit necessarily, but it could be. It often is like apples and whatnot.
No, sorry, I just probably mispronounced. I wasn't not saying fruit, but food.
Oh,
But,
food. Oh, okay, I
yeah.
misheard it then. Sorry. Okay, then Sandra.
Shoregiol unavlak vermon poches kustat. The Shoregiol guests dance to the harmonica.
Then Valentina.
Shoregiol unavlak. Oh, sorry, no, the following one. Lektin kaimish dech onchich ozan ikshi vijim yoljogic shupshekden oelat igirim shorekashim tagashim. Okay, so I'm not sure I understand this one, but let's try it. So before starting or before leaving, the children of the farm owner, they kind of, it's like they kind of pull their legs, like the leg of the trousers, and they sing.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like the way I understand it is that this is like the masked people do this to the children.
Would make more sense, yes. They pull the leg of the children of the owner of the farm, singing twins, ewe and ram.
Yep. Yep. It does sound strange, but I mean, once we see the video, we'll see it is strange. So I mean, it's not mentioned here, but like one of the custom is that I think that's in the video, is that the girls then go to the farm where all the sheep are cooped up and try to catch them by the leg. And the girl that manages to catch the sheep by the leg first is going to be the first to get married. So I have no idea if that's connected with that, but yeah. Okay, but Luan?
Tiga nuno osalan shuko pacham demlat. So like this way they offer the farm owner many lambs.
Yeah, then Sonia, the last one.
Shorekil arnyaște iderlak mujadash yuratat. So the young girls love to tell the fortune or get their fortune told at or during the week of Shorekil.
Yeah, exactly. So there's the thing with catching the sheep's leg, and then another thing is that a girl will be blindfolded and she should go out in the courtyard of the farm, and she'll take, I forget what it is, I think it's like a boot or so, and turns in a circle, and then we'll let go of the boot at some point, and the direction in which the boot flies shows towards her future husband. Like if it shows to the next village over, then it means that her future husband will come from that village or whatnot. Yeah, so it's, I mean, this is typical, all the fortune telling is always about matchmaking. Okay, next up is Arnya, the butter week, and Sandra gets the first sentence.
Shorekil deci kudoshim. Do I have to use the verb definite form? No.
No, just kutshim, the short forms.
Kutshim Arnya geç. Telin şoşo vek taynime. The butter week is 6 to 7 weeks after Shorekil, when in the time when spring is approaching winter.
Yeah. Here, I mean, there are some Mar customs here, but this is very clearly also connected to Russian Maslenitsa, which is at the same time. Yeah. Then Valentina.
Tide Bayramat Рошто. So also this celebration is very old.
Then Luan.
Chi Mari vlak Uyanyam isish bararak Pairamlat. So the like Chi Maris celebrate the butter week a little bit later.
Then Sonia.
Yarnya bayram petartış uyan çesan bayram. After
Not after, really.
Yeah. It's the festival of Maslenitsa or Yarnya. Is the festival of food and drink and butter.
Yes. So
and it's I wonder how the verb Betartash fits in.
It's not a verb. It's an adjective.
Adjective.
Betartash, last, final, or so.
Okay.
We don't have.
There is no.
Yes, you're looking for a verb, but you're not finding one because this is it's a predicative clause.
Okay, so there is
we don't
no
have a
like
copula.
be. Yeah. So they kind of like because I'm not very much familiar, or I'm not very well familiar with Maslenica. So, but I suppose it's the last festival of food and drink, probably before the Lent, before
Exactly.
Easter. Yeah. Okay.
That is it. It's like I don't want to deconstruct what is being said here, but like even though there are, like, I'm sure there is some syncretism going on, there's some Mari customs in here, it is very clearly leaning onto the Christian calendar of being right before Lent. Yeah, then Sandra.
After this, food and drink become less.
Exactly.
So they're fast.
Excuse me?
There's fasting.
Yes, exactly. Valentina?
Tide paramlan peshtamle sim yamdalat turlo kogilim uyacham peremechim komamlanam da monimat. So very tasty food is being prepared for this celebration. Different pies, maybe rolls, curd tarts, layered pancakes, and other foods.
Yep. And then Luan?
Anja Muchko Isteltic Kochkish. So throughout the week, the table is full of food.
And Sonia?
Ieder den kače vlak, tide parem žapešta šukomodet. Iarnia korokaš izdir dene mučaltaškajat. So the young girls, or the girls and the boys hang out or hang around a lot, or they play together a lot. And during the week of Maslenica, they go sledging or sledding from a hill.
Yeah, I mean, literally, it's more like they go sledding to the Yuanya hill. That there's like a specific one.
Okay.
Okay, then we are proceeding to Kugeche or Kugokeche, which again, they are differentiating it from Easter, but it is clearly connected to it. And Sandra gets the first one.
It's actually interesting, the name, because it reminds me of Latvian Lieldiena, which is also a big day for Easter.
Sorry to interrupt you. We have a big night in Czech, Velikonoce.
The Estonians, for Estonians, it is the meat taking, which is the most random thing.
But they also have like egg celebration or something, as a word I heard, like Munate. I forgot, like.
What was that?
I think like also that like Estonian, I learned like a lot of words that all refer to Easter, and depending on like which food you want to.
Yeah, what you want to foreground. Yeah. Okay, but I think Sandra gets the first one.
Mari vlakin kugecicht, rush vlakin pascha paremish de jonchich shochin. The Mari celebration of Kugeche was created
Yeah.
before the Russian Pascha, so before Russian Easter.
Yeah. Then Valentina.
Christian vera Charles Megodem Kugeche Rosh Bayrem Dene Varnen. So during the time of the expansion of Christianity, Kugeche was somehow mixed with the Russian celebration.
Then Luan.
Ci Mari Blacken Kugeche usual vera eshe aralal Gordon. So the like Chi Maris like big day or like Easter was like preserved and still is still like kept alive basically in some places.
Then Sonia.
The deне Mari vlak Munchash Pugat Yandar Tuver Yolashem Chiat. On this day or morning, the Mari people go to sauna, or is it banya? It's quite funny to see that they have a different word for that, and to they get clean and they put on clothes, like probably they put on clean clothes. It's the andara.
That is correct. Then Sandra.
Kichiva and Marte Ogit Coach. Until noon, they do not eat.
Then Valentina.
Kechival Turaste Kochkish Yoshim Bogat, Yumeltat Tosto Marim Kichkirat Stadt, Vara Kochkit Yoit. So coming midday, they gather the foods and drinks, they pray. Then here, I guess it's a tradition which I don't know, because they say they shout or call to old Maris and then eat and drink.
Yeah. So it's basically like a prayer to the dead or so, that they call to them. Yeah. Okay. Then Luan.
Kochmek Yumek Shuva Pochesh Moshe Dene Kustat Murim Oget Muro. So after like eating and drinking, they like dance to a couple playing bagpipes, I think.
Almost. This is now the function of Dana for like quantity in pairs. They dance to the
so they
bagpipes.
dance in pairs to bagpipes, and they don't sing songs.
Exactly, just the bagpipes. Then Sonia.
I think it's another tricky sentence for me. Samerek vlak tide paremamshke semnesht palandat. So the young people celebrate this festival as their own.
Yeah, in their own way, basically.
In their own way, okay, in their own way.
And Sandra?
Kažem jalog tene kugeže kurikišto kue vara lingaltischem isten mujer dene lingaltat tishkan kustat. Next to every village, on the Kugeche hill, they like their hills. There's is that vara as in like pole, like
Exactly. Very good. Excellent.
so it's like a Maibaum-ish thing.
Yeah, like a pole swing.
But it's made from birch.
Yes, exactly. A swing or so made from a birch pole. I'm sure we could find pictures if we knew the right Russian phrase to Google, but
Okay, and then in pairs they swing, and in groups they dance.
very good. And you were not fooled by the by vara, that we know it as afterwards, but it also means pole. And there's a saying in Mari which is vara pasha varash kaya, which is like later work goes to the top of the pole, which means that like if you say that you're going to do it later, it's going to go up on the pole and be forgotten and never happen. So yeah.
Jeremy, may I have a question, because I'm quite surprised at the existence of different hills, like that there is this Iania Kurak and Kugecha Kurak. So they have like different hills called after different festivals around the villages. It sounds like that.
My guess is that it's the same hill that gets renamed and repurposed. Oh my God. Sandra is looking for some pearls to clutch. Yeah. Okay, but then next up is Agavairem, the plowing feast, and Valentina, that's the first one.
Okay, Agavairem udash tungal medech onchich ale uden pitarime pochesh ertaraltesh. So the Agavairem, or the spring field work holiday, is celebrated either before the start of like sowing, or during the, let's say, the final phase of the sowing process.
Yeah, after it was finished.
After, yeah.
Okay, then Luan.
Aga vairem lan kochkush yushim ondakak yamdelat. So food and drink is like prepared early for like the plowing feast.
Then Sonia.
Varakalik pasuvok tenisa izolakash pagana kochkashim rat dene shindalut iktevesashtim shunat agavairem yubam kumalut. This vara, I suppose it's not the pole, but after. So after the folk or the people gather onto a glade, or to a glade next to the field. They arrange the food in rows, and they treat and entertain each other, and they pray to the god of sowing.
That's it.
And
that's it.
That's
like
it.
The god of this feast. And then Sandra.
Agavairem går en turle modus eterates kanderam shupshit imnim kushkish tanasin kudalet kurstalet terstilet. So during this festival, different games are prepared and played. Ropes are pulled. Which is probably the dance.
I think so. I'm not 100% sure, because there could be some game where they actually make a rope, but I think they mean the dance.
Okay. Then they wait. There was horseback riding.
Yeah.
And wait, yeah, horseback. They're competing in horseback riding. And they are running, and I forgot what the lash is.
Jump.
And jump. Okay.
Yeah.
So they're doing all those things on horseback, I guess.
Exactly. So it's like kushkishash was like to harness a horse, to put on a saddle and whatnot. And this is the translation is perfect. It's basically it's a converb of it without the ending, that from kushkijin, and so it's like having besaddled a horse, they competingly are riding and running and jumping with the horse.
With the
Right.
horse.
With the horse, yeah. So the next one, Semek, this here the name is just a borrowing, and here we have some more syncretism, but now it is Islamic syncretism. So nice mix, very Mari. And next up is Valentina.
Yeah. So Semek Sheshuagap Pitimek Vashke Semek Shuash. So Semek comes after the end of the spring field work.
Then Luan.
Paremen ding shona shisho Рошто Mari Lakim Osten Kuman Mash Nonin that shono Pakem Kostashta Aralash Yodmash. So the like main idea of this celebration is like to pray or like to commemorate by praying or something.
Yeah.
Like the old Maris, and to wait to like to ask them for what was Shuano as like
Grain.
so for like I don't know.
Yeah, this is tricky. An abundance of grain, basically.
Okay, so and like Aralash is like to preserve or something.
Yeah. So this is Kushtashna in the sense of dancing, but of growing. So they're asking of them for the growing and preservation of an abundance of grain. Yeah. Then, because I mentioned, I think last week that this per kanbije, that the perke, the stem where it comes from, that in prayers we have it, and it's like it is perke is like an abundance as it is requested by prayer, that you want all the grain, basically. Yeah. Then Sonia.
Sonia has to warn you that she hasn't had enough time to continue with the translation, but I think it doesn't, in the end, it doesn't make much difference because my translation is very poor, even when being prepared. Semek dech keche onchich yuchaden ider kachevlak pertashtem kudevachestem kue uksh dene sil nashtarat iktevesist dek kostet. So like after, like one day after, before Semek, children and young girls and the boys they do something with their house. Is it like they decorate? So
Yes, exactly. They decorate
their house, and they
yards.
Thank you, yards with birch branches, and they kind of like visit each other.
That's exactly it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm not impressed with how bad your translations are supposed to be.
Thank Very nice.
Okay, then Sandra.
Tiro já está quiser peleires para mim eterat. During this time, the flower festival is celebrated nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah, and unless I'm mistaken, there's something about that in chapter 39 when we're then going to talk about the time of the year when the Maoris talk about Pilatus even more than the rest of the year. Okay, then the last one that we have, and this sorry about the awkward angle. This is a picture I took at a museum in Yoshkaola in 2008 of this stained glass relief. And last one we have is Surem, which I think is another one that is of I believe something close to this is also practiced among the Turkic people. But yeah, then Valentina.
Surem, Chimarin, and Kugu Bayramja. So Surem is the main celebration for the adherents to the Mar traditional religion.
One.
To dem Schules Onchich Bayramlat, it is like celebrated before like the mowing of the grass.
Then Sonja.
Christian veram shingdarame golden Mari vlak tide pairam Petro ketchum ertarash tingalanat. So during the so like when the Christian faith was kind of like settling in, or the Mari people started calling this day the day of Saint Peter.
And not calling,
Pedro.
but carrying out. That basically they fixed the date to the feast of Saints Peter and Paul, which is the 12th of July, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. Then Sandra.
Kizet pareme Mari vlak južu vere kažna ien južu vere cum which iget palandat. Nowadays the Maris celebrate this feast every year in some places, and in some places every 3 to 5 years.
Exactly. Then Valentina.
Per yang vlak perlia paginen kuze kumame nergen punchalim luktet. So men having gathered together settle or decide basically what they will pray for, what they are going to ask for.
Yeah, basically how do they decide how to pray.
How to pray, yeah.
Then Luan.
Chila kumaltish pasham gartflag victorat. So like, okay, I don't know. So victorat is something like to aufrichten, or I don't know.
To carry out.
To carry out. So like wait a moment. What was called? This also something like.
It's like the priest in Mari tradition.
The priest like carry out. No, wait.
Yeah, no,
the
right.
work of like every prayer, or I don't know.
all the prayer work, all the praying matters,
okay.
And whatnot. Yeah. And just a note on kart. This is a pretty cool word that it's from Turkic, and in Turkic it means just old. like in Tatar kart, it's just old. And it's been borrowed more in this meaning, but it's also been borrowed into Udmurt in the meaning of husband. So like in German, it might be Männeralter or so, could in theory be a not very respectful way to refer to your husband, but yeah. Then Sonja.
Szívem gomaltas otosto ertaraltes. The serum prayers are carried out in the Holy Groves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then Luan.
Where we
I
we
think you skipped over two
one?
Oh, sorry, I keep doing that. Sorry, Sandra, yeah.
No problem at all. Tushko oiren lupmo volikim targidem tunam shurikim kondat yumelan kelshem palamdat da turim shishkel kugupodesh shultat. Okay, I have to admit I did not get this far in the text.
Well, I can help.
Okay. What is lukmo?
It's like where in the sense of what?
What is lukmo?
A lukmo, it's to bring out, but here it is part of an spectral converb construction, euren luktash, which is like to select, basically. To select, auswählen, like in German.
So, okay, I assume that, no. I assume that in the brackets, that's just a specification of the Volk.
Exactly.
But I do not know what a Talgit is.
A Talgit is a so-called a yearling, a 1-year-old foal.
Okay. Yeah. I'm not quite sure where to start with this sentence.
Let's do the up to the first comma, because it's all, and ignoring the parentheses. Tushko euren lukmo voljekem kondat.
What was kondash again? I'm sorry.
Kondash is to bring.
Okay. There, as in to the Holy Grove. They bring the cattle they selected, which can be a yearling, or then, like it used to be.
No. This is the nice homonymy. Tunam, it means then, but there is also tuna. And wait, the stress is weird because it should be tunam. Tuna is a heifer, a young cow which has not calved.
Yeah, cool. My brain is even giving me the German equivalent for that. I did not know I know this.
What is it in German?
Ferse.
Oh, okay. If you want to be super confused, you can also translate it as a tunfish, but I suggest you don't.
I was thinking I could go for that, but
yeah.
It's a very peculiar kind of volume.
Yeah.
So a yearling, a cow that has not had a calf, or a sheep.
Yeah.
Is they bring it there to the Holy Grove. Wait, this is probably not palimdat as in to celebrate, but
to mark in the sense.
Okay. They mark it to the liking of the gods.
Yeah, like suitable to God, fitting to God, or so.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
it's
So
like-
they mark it suitable to God. To
Yeah,
the
it's like some
god.
kind of sanctification process.
Okay. Shishkelen.
Mhm.
Shishkelash.
As to slaughter.
Oh dear. They slaughtered it and do something big with it.
They Sholtash is to cook it.
In big
Cauldron or pot.
yeah, but yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry.
Yeah. So about all this whole procedure here, there is actually a movie by Alexei Alexeyev on the whole topic where you can actually see all this happen, including seeing a cow that's not going to have a good day. Yeah. Then Valentina.
Okay. So shil shur kumek chokli momutim pelishtat shilim shurik pochkit yumelan kumalit. So
Mhm.
once the meat soup is ready, a word of prayer is said. The meat and the soup is eaten, and prayers to God are said.
Mhm. Yep. Then okay, Luan gets a very easy one.
Yes, Kumaltishtechvara Mangishkisht Kayat. So after the prayer, they go home.
Indeed. And now Sonia gets a less easy one.
Kokam sho kitchen vreze vlak iam osalem surt gechlochten luktet.
Mhm.
So it's like on the second day, the young boys, and I wonder what is iam.
Is the devil, but also like evil spirits or so, I would
Okay.
say. Like
So the
demons or so.
evil spirit, and I don't know what is osal.
Osal means bad, but it can also just be like evil as an abstract concept or so, or like evil forces.
So is it like they drive away the evil forces from the farms?
Yep, that's
or
it.
from the farm? Yeah.
Yep. Yep. They do an exorcism or whatnot. Then Sandra.
Surem godem revezblak kujup pucham stat kop meter kutishan da pualtat. Sorry. During Surem, the young man make a wait. Tall put.
Like a pipe or so.
They make a long pipe, like 2 meters long.
Yeah.
Okay, and voltage. Not sure what. I mean, is it like puash? No. Do they blow it?
Yep, they do.
Is it like an iPhone or something?
It is indeed.
Ah.
I'll show you pictures in a second because here I can actually find pictures. Yeah. Yeah, and but once we're done with it, so then Valentina gets the last sentence and Luan gets the kalakmut.
Udiramash vlak tamle kochkishim yam delat. So women prepare tasty food.
Right, and then Luan.
U Ilishlan U Koyish, new customs for a new life.
Indeed. So yeah, I'll show the pictures after I end the recording. People watching this at home, you can just Google Surem Puch and you will find pictures of what it looks like. So that would be the end of today's session. Does anybody have any questions pertaining to the text? If not, then I will stop the recordings. Everybody watching at home can proceed right on to the exercises. Welcome back. Time for some exercises pertaining to chapter 38. Before I start, a little something that Sandra sent me actually when writing down some of the grammar stuff that we looked at in the last session. These collective numerals with the four of us type and whatnot, the ones for four, these really look like some of the memes about how Cyrillic cursive gives you nightmares with this. So in case anybody ever wants to do a Mari version of that meme, I think we have a candidate here with the four of us in the date, especially in the dative. Okay. So exercises, I have the ordering here: Sonia, Valentina, Luan, Sandra. The first exercise is for once not grammatical knowledge, but knowledge about Mari feasts and celebrations. And I think let's do it, even though we've usually been skipping over these. Let's see, how well do we know the Mari core festivals? And I'm here to help you out in case you don't know it. And Sonia can start with the first one. Just read it as a question, translate the question, and then see if you know the answer. And if not, I'll help you.
Mogaj parem godem betem da godevecem COPIUS deне starat. So it's kind of like during which festival they decorate the house and something with birch, not trees, but the branches. I would say it's something in spring or in the summer.
Yeah.
So probably Semek.
That is correct. Semek is correct.
Semek godem.
Beshsai. Then Valentina.
Kugutau.
Nimolan.
Okay. Magaj parem godem Kechival Marte Ogit Koch. So during which festival one does not eat until midday, and I would say Kugeche Godem.
That is correct. Then Luan.
Mogaj parem godem dele modish erdaraldesh. So during which celebration different games are played. So I think this is Agavarem.
Yeah. Yeah, I would think that probably lots of games are played at the other ones too, but this is where it's said. Then Sandra gets the next one.
Mogaj parem godem arnya muchkotam le kochkishem kochkit, during which celebration tasty foods are eaten throughout the week. And I would say Unyarnya Godem.
Very good. Then Sonia.
Mogaj parem godem ider shamach mujedet. So during which festival or feast the young girls tell their fortunes, and I think it's Shorekiolum Godem.
That is correct. Then Valentina.
Okay. Mogaj parem godem Ikshivin yolim shupshit da olat igirim shorikashim takashim. So during which festival basically children are kind of pulled by the leg of the trousers, and the riddle is told about twins and ewes and rams. So the riddle about cattle, and that was Shorekiol.
Yep, indeed. It was twice in the row Shorekiol, and then Luan gets the last one.
So Mogaj parem godem otisto yumelan kumalet the shulshurim kochkit. So during which celebration like people pray in a grove and like eat meat soup. I think it's surem.
That is correct. Okay, now we have some little text where we have to insert verbs in the correct place, correct person, present tense, and translate it. And it's, the first one is about fortune telling. The second one is about Mari folk games. There are several ones here. Since there are a lot of words and you might not be able to find them, you can always ask me out if you can't find one. And we'll start with Sandra.
Okay, so Christine Ureblak ikpertish kuvar umbalan kumjum talingam charkam tushtujo oksa kagas shurno perche vuta tulechmolat. Another verb. Oh dear. So I gotta look at the options actually.
Yeah, and we can do it sentence by sentence, since they're consecutive things.
Okay. So Christina Udeblak ikpertish Poginit?
In present tense, it's then pogenat. Past tense would have been pogenenet, but
Okay, so in the evening, girls gather in one house.
Yeah, and then what do they do?
On the floor.
Yeah.
They wait. Shintat. They put dishes, sauces, and cups.
Yep.
And
this part.
Their money.
Their money, yes.
Their money, paper, what's that, hay? No, grain.
Yep.
Grain seeds, water, and other things. Liat? No.
Liat. Very good. Yeah. And just one note with Shurna Pritcha. Pritcha is also, you could also define this sort of as a singulative marker, that it means like one thing of something that is countable but usually isn't. So like Shurna Pritcha, you could also just translate it as a grain. It's like a grain unit, but I mean, your translation was also correct and fine. Then Sonia.
Jo, vara kashtaste shincheshe. Jeremy, sorry, could you make it a bit bigger, please?
Yeah, sure, no problem. Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's just my side is getting worse, I would say. But thank you. Vara kashtaste shincheshe naleshe chivem guchen portat umbak something.
Kivar umbak.
Jo, kivar umbak. So after that, so there is a sort of like beam.
Yeah.
Beam, sleeping, chivam. So they is it something like taking chicken sleeping or perching on the beam? So they take this chicken which is sleeping. Okay.
Yeah.
Poor chicken.
Yeah, indeed, sounds cruel, but it's like they kuchen putat. It's like kuchen is kuchash is to grab, to take, and putash is to bring in. So they grab and bring in
the chicken, and they do something probably with that on the floor. So they like put it on the floor, or
yeah. This one, maybe I'll do it for you because it's not so straightforward. It's called tat, which koltash, we have learned this originally as to send, but it is also like in its original meaning, it's actually like to let go in the sense of like a raft. If you have like a raft and you let it go on the river, it's like koltash. You take something and you subject it to the natural forces. So if you're like taking a chicken, it's like throwing, but more in the sense of like you take and you let it go and you let the chicken do its own thing on the floor.
Choosing the future events, I suppose. From
Indeed.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I think it should be someone else's turn, but I can continue.
Yeah.
No,
sorry, Valentina.
It's my turn. Yeah.
Okay.
Kalan kashtaste agitan sampingin chilan utenkayen something vetide udir en yorga kachilan kaishash. Okay, so I think it means that to whom basically the rooster sitting on the bean is maybe going. So I would say kostesh.
Yeah, they want logalesh in like
touch. Okay.
Yeah, like in the sense of like to whom who catches the rooster from the beam or so much.
Right. Chilan utenkayen maybe liesh. It is too much. It is.
Yeah, uten cayenne is like do we have it here? Like excessively. A lot. They do something. It's mean. The thing that comes now.
Yeah, I understand the rest of the sentence. So it says that basically the girl that touches the rooster is too flirty to get married.
No.
No or no?
No, almost. But okay, maybe I'll solve this one too, because it's a cruelty that you wouldn't expect. Vorstellet. They laugh. Yeah. So so she who gets the rooster who's on the beam. So I'm guessing it's like everybody goes into the shed and everybody grabs a chicken, and one girl will accidentally grab the rooster, or will end up with just having the rooster. And everybody starts laughing at her because
she grabbed the guy. Oh, I see now. Okay.
Because she is then too or she's the most, actually it's a superlative. It's the most flirty. Yeah, but she's not the most flirty. Somebody else is the most flirty.
I'm not sure.
Okay, so vet, it's just this part go like Russian vet.
Yeah.
For this Tita Uda, this girl. Kaya Shash.
She will go get married with or am I getting it now?
Yes, exactly. That is.
Yeah, right. So basically she will be kind of unlucky because the husband will be unfaithful.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So everybody laughs at her because she's going to end up married to the most
the least
unfaithful.
Committed. Yeah.
So yeah.
I get it now.
Yep. Unfortunately, that's what it says. Then Luan.
Okay. So Chibaflak Kumish here. I think this is like the word missing is kostet probably. Yeah. And then Ikdashmom Chungash Dungalit. So the chickens like walk around the dishes or something, and then they start like pecking something.
Exactly. They'll start pecking at something. And then what that means, Sandra gets to
So, Chivo Oksam, Chingalish, Uderin Marija Puyan.
Only 2 more options.
Yeah. Also, Liège.
Very good.
Percem Kindan, Kagazim Knagache, Vudem Araka Lugar. So, so with the chicken pecks at the money, the husband of the girl will be rich. If it pecks at the grain, he will have much bread.
Yeah, like much grain. It's like I think in the sense of it, he's going to be a farmer who has a lot of
Okay, so
fields and stuff.
If he's if it pecks at the paper, he's going to be a reader, I guess. I can't see it anymore.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
An educated person. Okay, and if it pecks at the water, he's going to be a drinker.
Yeah. Yeah, I have 2 notes to make here. The first one is here, this knagache. It might look a bit surprising that it's knagache with an A, but in older Mari texts, actually the word for book was knaga. That it was borrowed, it's from the same source from Russian kniga, but in old Mari text there was this sound change. I don't know exactly why. So you will, and this knagache is derived from the old form of kniga, but you will also encounter knaga for book in Mari, especially in older texts. That's the one thing, and the other thing is like there is so much in in Mari folk beliefs and like superstitions and whatnot, which are like these mythical explanations for alcoholism, and which I'm sure it's not just the Maris. You'll have this all over Russian, and I find it kind of ironic that there's like almost like this orchestrated effort to try to find esoteric explanations for the societal ill, especially given the fact that it was driven, like, I mean, the societal ill didn't come to be in a vacuum. I mean, Sandra was talking about this. I'm not sure if it was in the course or else. No, it wasn't in the course. We were talking about this another elsewhere about how in the Russian Empire, the authorities had the had a monopoly on vodka production, and like they got a whole lot of taxes off vodka. So like getting everybody to consume in the huge amounts of vodka was like necessary for the state coffers in a way. So it's like I'm bordering on a conspiracy theorist about this thing, that it's like almost like an orchestrated effort to try to blame anything but the mechanisms that are actually at fault for these structural issues, when we have these superstitions about, well, it's because the chicken pecked at the wrong place or whatnot, that the man ended up being an alcoholic. Yeah.
But I would say this is a sort of like a psychological stuff. And I think it's called like a coping mechanism, that people tend to blame anything and anyone else but themselves if there is a problem, and it's not always like conscious thing. It's really just like the only way how to be able to cope with that is like to point a finger at something or someone else.
Yeah, indeed. There's I have this book, I don't have it with me here right now, but this book of Mari superstitions that are very much like, if this thing happens, then this is going to be the consequence. And there's so many things in there that will cause alcoholism. Like one is like, if a woman spills soup when making soup, her husband will become an alcoholic. So sorry ladies, it's all your fault, basically. Okay, next up is Sonia.
Še për të malnë vështonçesh da sorta dene something kad në vështo yıkıyanım okna yomalna perdesi en vakın modıştım kolıştın da tuğlaçmalı seminat. Okay, I think I get the 0 challenge, so
Yeah.
makes the life a bit easier. Sorta dene mužedesht. Mužedet, okay.
Next week is paradigm revision.
I know. But I should start now, or I should start now, I think, like to catch up with all forms. So they also tell fortunes in the cellar. Something like cellar, mirror, and I'm not sure what is sorta.
A candle.
Candle. So they kind of like they get down to the cellars and they get a mirror and the candle and start predicting. Yeah, and at the crossroads. And Yukian, is it something like a sound?
Sound, yeah.
I'm not sure which sound it is.
It is like it is separated from what is before, so it is, and still, and furthermore, they tell fortunes in the cellar with a mirror and a candle. Not entirely sure how it works, but it's going to be something like similar to Ouija boards and whatnot, I would think. And these are the other ways that they are telling fortunes. And what all of this, it is listening to.
Okay, so the sound at the crossroads and
exactly.
To the windows of the house. I'm not sure about Pertesö, but I suppose it's Jumalne Pertesö. It's something with the house.
Like under the window, I mean, it is a kind of strange, if you ask me. It is like under the window, the people in the house under the window. And I'm not entirely sure how
it's like eavesdropping or
exactly.
The tulach. I'm not sure what is tulach, but it's like, and others like that, or many more like that.
Yeah, so tulech, it's just from that. It's the demonstrative stem tu, like what you also have in tudo, and lech is just a form of the separative thing, like from that, other types, so and other things like that. So I mean, basically they're like the ways of fortune telling. The first thing here, this is fairly straightforward, is that they just sit at like some crossing and they listen to sounds, and depending on what they hear, this will foretell things about the future. But also then, like, I mean, it's like under the window. Yeah, it is the like eavesdropping, I would think. It's, now that I think about it, I think it's like that they're going on the street and there's like a window and they go under the window and they listen what they hear inside, and based on that, what words they hear or whatnot, they make their predictions. Which, I mean, is it like really making a prediction when you're just spying on people? I predict that Peter from this house is having an affair or whatnot, because I literally heard him talking to his mistress. Yeah,
it sounds like the young girls in Mari didn't have or don't have a lot to do, so they kind of like come up with their own activities, which are of course very important because it's about their future.
Yeah, but no, I mean, this is definitely, I think, a factor with a lot of these, like also like the riddles and whatnot. It's like, got to do something on when you've got nothing else to do. Okay, yeah, actually, I lied that this is no longer an exercise here. This is just a little text to read, but I think these are interesting. So if nobody's protesting, I wouldn't mind reading this one too. So it's Mari Kalak Modish Mari National Games. And the first one we have is the Agetan Chungedel Mash, Agetan Kredal Mash. So the rooster fight. So it's either the rooster pecking, but this is a frequented form. So we had Chungash or Chungalash here, like to peck, where here it was like a chicken pecking corns. But if we have Chung from the same stem, Chungedel Mash, then it is frequented reciprocal, and it's more violent. It's like the roosters pecking each other or fighting with each other. And first one up, I think, was Valentina, unless I'm
correct. Yeah, correct. Okay. So Tidemodish Akret Gotso. So this game is very old.
Yeah. Yep. Then Luan.
Modischen Koyesh Shoktish Shotigai, much of like ik Kiristene Jengekela Shulaltime Yoristin Kuchat, the Peliola Vachistene Shukedelit Puito Agdan Lagash Chungidilit. So the like idea or character or whatever of the game is this and that. I only get very little from the rest of the sentence.
Sorry, Luan, there's something strange with your microphone.
Okay, yeah, I have no idea. I'm using a different like operating system. I have zero idea. Wait. But like
that there's like a reverberation, and it's somewhat difficult to understand you.
Okay. Wait. Does it work like this or?
Yes, now it's good.
Okay, cool. So okay. Wait, where was I? So
yeah, with the translation.
Okay. Yes. So yeah, like the idea or nature of the game is as follows: is this and the players, which where's the word out here? So the players like grab their feet and then wait. So they're wait. So okay. So I guess like it's like the feet are stretched out.
Okay, maybe I'm gonna end up if
like
I can
feet and some with the hand or no.
Yeah, no, that's right. I'm just trying to decide here if I have too much dignity to illustrate what is meant exactly, but that's absolutely right, is that they grab their feet, but not just they grab their foot. It's like one person, one foot, with one hand, and the foot is Schenkekala Shuyaltame, which means
stretched out to the back or
stretched out to the back.
Okay.
So basically it is what the hell. I'll show you roughly what is meant if I can get the camera to show it.
Sounds like yoga exercise, I would say.
Oh, okay.
Okay, exercise session is over. And what happens then?
Yeah. So wait, so then like they okay.
Well, let's just do it up here.
Yes.
Up to this.
Yes. I don't even understand the English translation for sugar delight, so I have even with the translation no idea what they're doing.
Okay, to shove to just so it's like if you're in a group of people and you're pushing yourself through and you're knocking people with your shoulder.
Oh, okay. So
you can just translate as to knock. That also would work, I think.
And they're knocking like on one leg they're knocking like each other wait, what was one and each other like with their shoulder.
Exactly.
So wait, is it like as if or something, or I don't know, like as like just like as if the roosters are like biting or pecking at each other.
That's exactly correct.
Okay.
So yeah, so you do the number that I showed. You grab yourself by the 1 foot, and you're hopping on 1 foot, and then you basically you attack one another. You jostle, you like knock each other on with the shoulders, as if you were roosters that are in a fight with one another. And but you the whole time you have to stay on 1 foot. And yeah, I mean that's in part of the rules. That comes in the last line now. But is the general setup of this game understandable? Yeah. Okay, and then Sandra gets to read and translate the winning conditions.
Kyrus yin chot kin kokyol imbaka shulta dudos english lektesh. Whoever knocks, like wait, was that? Yeah, knocks. Wait, chot was something like number.
No, that is strongly. There is also chot with that meaning from Russian shot, but no, this chot is just strongly, intensely or so.
Okay, whoever strikes another person strongly enough that they have to stand on 2 feet.
Yeah.
That person is declared the winner.
Exactly. So actually fairly straightforward, but we were never metal enough to do something like this at Fusco or whatnot.
Yeah, I wanted to ask, can we like organize a Mari game day at our department?
Yeah. Yeah, we'll do one like post-pandemic Mari game day. We ran out of all concern for during the lockdown, and we're doing.
I'm wondering about the amount of alcohol which is probably involved in this kind of game.
It is probably involved. Now, this reminds me of so this is not a Mari, not a particular Mari game, but the game that in English is known as Musical Chairs, and German there's Reise nach Jerusalem or whatnot, where or Sesseltanz, there are different names for that. We got to play that in Mario 2 when we were in this village in the so-called Dom Culturi, the House of Culture, which nice one, Sandra. Post-lockdown knockdown. The Maricast post-lockdown knockdown. Let's make it happen. But so in any case, like Dom Culturi, if I hear this House of Culture, I think of something that is like a neo-Greco-Roman building with columns and whatnot. But every village has a Dom Culturi, and usually it's just like an old shed or whatnot, where there are like various social activities. But we got to play then some musical chairs there. But it was like the best chairs they could find, which were like rusty and falling apart and had nails coming out of them in strange angles and whatnot. And the floor were like all the floorboards were creaky and whatnot. So basically it ended up being a game of musical chairs where the deciding factor was who had the least concern for the integrity of their backside, let's say, who was least concerned about sitting down on one of these goddamn chairs. Yeah, but also there at the various games that were played in the Mari village, there was alcohol involved. And I mean, the classic was when we did the Kandera dance, where there was this one drunkard from the village came and joined, and he was just walking back and forth in a straight line, but everybody else was doing the Kandera around him, and it still somehow worked under in a whole bunch of quotation marks. Okay, what have we got next? Varash, then Kombige, Vlak, the hawk, and the chicklets. And I'm gonna do this. I'm going to cut this out and put it under here so that you can see the vocabulary, but I'll get, once we have read the first paragraph, I'll get the next paragraph. And we start with, Sandra did the last one, so Sonia starts with this one.
Shivera ale lutish dene varash, uzo da ava kumbu oyeraltat, molish kumbeke diet.
Okay, maybe before you start, I'm going to give a little note on the word shereva, which is a sort of a tricky concept. Shereva is like, if you know the whole thing of like drawing straws, where it's like I hold straws, everybody draws one, and the person who gets the short one is chosen for some task or whatnot. There are, like among the Maoris, various different ways of doing this. Another popular one is that you take a pole or so, it has to be very long or it's too easy. And you start at the beginning is that every person puts like a hand around the pole. And wait, I'll do it with my speaker here, I can show it. So it's like the first person puts a hand around the pole, and then the next person puts a hand around this, and you go on and on and on and on. And the person whose hand ends up cupping the top of the pole is chosen for that. And there are a bunch of other things in going this direction. And shereva is any object used to determine this kind of game of chance, the straws, the pole, or whatnot. So it's like just a word for a concept that we have also in the West, but we just don't have a word for it as a, yeah.
Lost.
Yeah.
So this Shivera thing, or counting out, or the game with the hawk, and I don't remember what uzo is.
Male.
Is it male or female? Yeah, male or female duck?
Goose.
Goose, sorry. Goose are chosen, and they have, it's something with the goslings molested.
The others.
The others are goslings.
Exactly.
Or will be goslings.
Yeah. So at the beginning of the game, either by drawing straws or something like that, or by doing eeny, meeny, miny, mo, or something like that, we decide who is going to be the hawk, who is going to be the mother, the father goose and the mother goose, and everybody else are the goslings in this game. Right. Then Valentina gets the next line.
Okay. Uzo combo onchi koshugalesh, ava combo mochashteliyesh. So the father goose steps forward, and mother goose stays at the back. At the end.
Yeah. So it's like a row of geese, and mother and father are at the two ends of the string. And then Luan.
Kombiga flag achashtem. Uzo kombi wash ishte kuchen shogale. So the like baby geese wait, so like wait, what's this word? Oh, so like basically grab the their father, the male goose. Wait, from no.
Not the male goose, yeah.
So from like wait, so wash is like each other or something. But what has but what has this to do like from the belts? I can't like connect those two together.
Okay, like they are it's syntactically, it is a bit strange if you ask me, but but basically what's happened is that they are grabbing each other and the father goose, grabbing by the belt. They are standing and whatnot. So what it means is that you have the father goose stands in the front and everybody's wearing a belt, and the first baby goose grabs the father goose's belt, and then the next baby goose grabs the last person's belt and whatnot. So that we have a chain of geese here.
Okay.
And then Sandra.
Čumerješke poginen kombutuška buito orkestro košteš. What was Sumer again?
The whole entire.
Once the whole family is gathered, the geese group is making their way to the meadow.
Yeah, and like with Puito, it means it's a game. So it's like they're like in German, I'd say sie tun als ob, like they're pretending to, they're acting as if they were going to the meadow, just as part of the game. And then Sonja.
Lap lien shudem chingat shogalat chilanat murat. So they're low.
They stoop, like as if
they stoop.
pecking
Okay.
at the grass.
And so they like peck at the grass, or they eat the grass. They stand around.
Yeah.
And all of them sing.
Indeed, and
the
then
following lines.
The following lines, indeed, and here I'm pasting them in, and yeah, Valentina gets this here.
Okay. Kigi kogo kombijo yogin vudim podelesh. So I guess like the geese go quack quack or something, and drink running water.
Yep. So honk honk go the geese, they drink the running water. And then Luan, the second two lines.
ECU sha igische kochkashische kitchalesh. So wait, like a small green baby animal is like looking for something to eat, or
that's it. That's it. Okay. Then next paragraph comes in. Okay. Then Sandra.
When to make Kurdim Serenat. Okay. After the song ends, after they sing their little song. What was the other?
Around.
Yeah. They was Severnash turn.
Yep.
That turn around their house?
No, Perdash is also turning. So
okay.
it's kind of
but
they turn.
Do they turn around themselves, or do they do the Ringerein thing?
I'm not entirely sure if they're turning around themselves or if the whole group of people goes in a circle, but yeah, they're turning around. Okay, and then as they are turning around, what happens? And Sonja gets the first line of that.
Die gut lachte wissen varash tolen lektesh da kombike vlaken poktelash tingalash. At this moment, or at this time, I don't know what is bisen. Is it
quickly?
Quickly. something appears.
The hawk.
The hawk appears quickly and starts chasing the geeslings.
Exactly. Then Valentina.
Okay. Uzo combo igije vlakim da avashtim aralash bijesh. Kitchim sharalten avirkala varashim shukal kolta. So the kind of father goose strives to protect the ghostlings and mother goose. He I guess spreads out his hands and shields them, and I guess pushes the hawk.
Indeed, that is correct. And then Luan.
Lost the line.
Here, this one. Kombiga.
Kombiga black. Justin Ishishim Oget Coulter, so the goslings don't let go of their father's belt or something.
Yeah, so many opportunities to get hurt. Indeed, if we ever do a Mari game evening like this, I think there are gonna have to be like vouchers or something to sign. Like, I do not hold the organizers of this event responsible for any bodily harm. Still,
So for some additional risk, we could like do it in the Dissertanten Zimmer, because
indeed, more things to knock into. Okay, then last paragraph, and let's see, where were we? Yeah, we've had these, and wait, I think I'm going to just take this stuff out. And we are, here I accidentally brought in 2 paragraphs, but whatever. Okay, then Sandra's up next, I think.
Okay, that also gets so Ige Varash Yeshish Ushna. Wait, I don't know, it's another one. God damn it. What was Ushnash again?
To join.
Okay. And there. Who's the subject here?
Ige.
Okay.
This is all here, one long phrase.
I just wasn't sure. Okay, is it so do Varash and Yesh belong together?
Yes.
Okay, so the goslings that let go of the belt will join the hawk family. Then there's more than one hawk. Okay.
Exactly. So you.
Oh boy, that escalated quickly.
Exactly. Then Sonia.
Varash Chiluman Saverman, Muchashke Gerjaltashtirsha, Notushto Ava Komushke Igaja Vlakam Arala. What is Savernash?
Okay, so I thought again about this Perlin Savernash. So Savernash is like to go around, but more like in the sense of like around without a clear directionality, whereas Perlin is really rotate. So here I would just say like going around in this context. Yeah.
So the hawk goes around quickly. And Muchashka. I wonder about the form of Muchashka, because we have Muchash, which is and. And this is what? This is like elative, or?
It is. It's a haplology that it is like Muchashishke becomes can be Muchashke.
So is it till the end?
Yep. He tries to grab into the end of Puch.
I don't know what Puch is.
Tail.
Tail, okay.
Yep. And I like tail of the goose family. He tries to like attack the tail of the goose family.
Okay, and
but
there the mother goose herself or on her own protects the geeslings.
Yeah, she protects her goslings. I would read this then as one phrase. Yeah, then Valentina.
Barash iktash kombegim kitchedene du kalten kerteshkin. The guy ige varashish saverna. To the combo tushka gichlektesh to dim varash kochkin. So if the hawk touches by hand one of the goslings, this gosling turns into a hawk, leaves the goose family, and becomes eaten, gets eaten by the hawk.
Exactly. Right, then Luan.
Modishlaştı, Vulatışım, Alya, Vüdüşüm, Oyaraştörlü, Yönüm, Kutscheldet, Şereva, Toya, Şirpe, Pirçevlak, Şirte, Püteka, Damolat. So, in the game, different ways are used to separate the leader or the leader.
Yeah.
So, stick, like a Shereva stick.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, what? Match seeds. Is this like when you use like Streichhölzer or what?
Exactly, that's it.
So, then, like bundle of yarn or like other things.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how with the bundle of yarn, but there's also some mechanism there by which you use a bundle of yarn to pick a person.
That probably like by the end of the yarn or something points at, or
yeah. That would be my guess too. That it sounds like a whole lot of effort because for very little. But that you like, I don't know, you roll it around, you span around a bunch of people, and where it ends, that's the chosen person, or something like that. I don't know, but I would guess it must be something like that. Okay, and then Sandra gets the last one.
People just have a lot more time.
Yeah.
No shukish godem ludish black portion shukat. But during the time of many? No.
Yeah, I mean, this means oftentimes.
Okay. But oftentimes, what is Ludish?
Ludish is like eeny, miny, miny, mo.
But usually, but oftentimes the wait,
I know
this whatever the cover.
the rhymes. I know what they're in German, but there's
me too.
yeah, I can't think of the good word in English. But these
this rhyme to choose a person will be of help.
Yeah. This thing.
What I didn't understand. So I thought the goslings will become part of the hawk family and then they get eaten. I don't understand.
Yeah, like basically when a gosling is eaten, the way I understood it, it becomes part of the hawk family. So the game gets harder and harder for the goose family as it proceeds. And my guess is, I don't know if like the last gosling to survive is then the winner or so. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah. But so this Ludwig, what is actually, Sandra, what is the main one used in Germany for these things? Yeah. Because this is one there's in Vienna, the main one people use. It's actually in Czech, but nobody knows that it's Czech. It's a fun one. I think I've talked about this before. Like am dan des, diese male pes, diese male pumpenes, am dan des. This diese male pes, as people say it, it's like you are a little dog.
Yeah. I mean, you also have Ich und du, Müllers Kuh, Müllers Esel, das bist du.
Yeah.
My personal favorite, Ip Zip Zap, der Zug fährt ab nach Berlin ohne Schienen. Schienen sind krumm und du bist dumm.
Oh boy. Oh, now those are some disses. Okay. So much for that. I think we can still do this translate into English some individual sentences, even though it's fairly straightforward and easy, but it's nice to have some fair and straightforward, easy things from time to time. I believe it's Sonja's turn.
Sonia is very happy to have something easy and straightforward. Čavain elnet románože marlakec film Laške kusaren artomoisil. So Čavain's elnet, the novel, Čavai's novel elnet. Sorry, straightforward. Who translated Čavain's novel Elnet from Mari into Finnish, and it was Arto Moisu.
That is correct. Then Valentina.
That's good to know, by the way. Okay, and okay, the next one. Vingr ilmegic marlas keshagal silnimut kusaraltin. So little or a few works of literature were translated from Hungarian into Mari.
Yeah. So some notes about Elnet, I was going to say. So we started reading it in the Mari literature circle in Vienna, or like a part of the first chapter. On the one hand, it was very interesting. On the other hand, it started with within the first chapter there was squirrel murder, so that was not necessarily widely appreciated. That somebody's out hunting for squirrels. And about the
and then like he's not even happy about it, because actually he wanted like to shoot the marten, and then like he shoots the squirrel, and then like he's like, no, like not exactly what I wanted.
Yeah, it's like just a squirrel that I murdered here. Yeah. And about but yeah, it is nice to know that the whole book exists also in Finnish translation, so if Finnish reading people can have a reference for this Mari novel if they ever get to read it. Yeah, and from Hungarian there is a little book of poems by Sándor Petőfi that's been translated into Mari. It's like the Hungarian national poet who disappeared during the revolution of 1848, which is to say he was probably killed, but his body was never found. Yeah. So next up is Luan.
Tide sterische Maruslagic Japonisch Kusaren Kantatmo. So can you translate this letter from Russian into Japanese?
Then Sandra.
Yoltaşım işte laşkı kusarme odo pusilamutum buteş. My friend reads poems translated from Estonian into Udmurt.
Almost.
Oh, the other way around. Sorry.
Other way around.
Udmurt poems translate into Estonian.
That's exactly correct. Yeah. And next one for Estonia, just a quick note that weird things happen with komi that I would have expected komi la here, but they don't do it.
I think it's been influenced by Russian because in Russian it doesn't change. It's just like the same form.
Exactly.
Could be interesting to find out why.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tida tekstem komi goch Angličan loške rušiome goch kusarenet. So from komi into English through Russian. So this text was translated from komi into English through Russian language.
That's correct. And then Valentina?
Nina predloženi vlakem marlagic kusarašnjele ilemo. So was it difficult to translate these sentences from Mari?
Indeed. Okay. So we'll skip over translating into English, but here are just some more situations where this emphatic negation with mash uke would work, like kofim you mash uke, me kofim you mash uke, like I don't drink coffee at all, not just today, but as in general. Yeah, we're going to have another set of these emphatic negations in reverse, where we can see if we can manage them. And next up was Luan, I believe.
Küsit niege dene Estonda kuteri mash uke sadlan yulme monotesh. So if you like never or not at all speak to anyone in Estonian.
So right now I've got nobody to speak Estonian with.
Oh, okay. So wait. So like the language will like be forgotten.
Is being forgotten. Yeah. And I mean, this is an interesting sentence in the sense that it's completely impersonal, like nowhere is the person marked, but like from context, it's clear that it's probably first person singular. Yeah. So then Sandra.
I don't go to the forest on my own. I'm afraid.
Yeah, which seems like from my Central European perspective, seems like a strange sentiment, but in Mari forests you do have bears and stuff like that. Okay, so Sonia.
Kinkerzem tudo kanamash uka bakcheste ere pasham ishta. So he does not relax at all in summer. He always does work in the garden, or it's not orchard. It's garden.
It's garden, yeah. Then Valentina.
My vesien nergen nacharim shonimash uke. So I think I don't have bad thoughts about anybody, or I try not to think badly about anyone.
Yeah, indeed. The Buddhist principle, which Timothy Riese, who's a Buddhist, tries to adhere to this principle, but he's been telling me that the last few months have made this very, very hard as regards one certain person in Moscow or in a bunker under the Ural Mountains. Who knows? Yeah, then it's Luan again.
Me Facebook is still Shinchimash Uka. I'm like not staying on Facebook at all.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't sit around or I don't spend time kind of. Okay, then starting with Sandra, here we have, oh boy, all the different usages of deне illustrated with examples.
Memnan denë tishte yresh, atindan denë ige chimugay. Here at our place, it's raining. What's it like at your place?
Yeah.
The weather like at your place?
Yeah, I know it's an annoying thing to always say that it's easier to translate into this language or that, but this does work better in German with bei uns, bei euch. Yeah. And I would guess that also in Czech, there's probably a more elegant way of saying this. Sonja.
Landalum in Levedalten. The land is covered in snow.
Very good.
Or the snow covers the land.
Yeah. Yeah. Indeed. Then Valentina.
Sorry, it was past tense, wasn't it?
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, it's past tense that the land was covered by snow, but you could be saying when it is now covered by snow. So it's like it doesn't feel wrong even if you if you translate as present tense, declaring the state of the land now.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, then Valentina.
Yeah. Aista peledish peremishtetën dandene vashlina. So let's meet up during the flower festival.
Then Luan.
Sorry, they even have flower festivals, like flowers everywhere in Mari culture.
Yeah.
Okay. So Pratina Shorig Yal Muja Black Shogat. So the like Shorig Yal maskers are standing by the house.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, do the interprets, is there a flower festival or something there? Yeah.
There is a flower carnival, but my boyfriend was there. I wasn't there, unfortunately.
Yeah, but it's like, I mean, I've never been to Montreal for Peledish Pairem, but you could be so snarky and sarcastic about it. Ooh, you're really into flowers right now, unlike in the rest of the year when you never talk about flowers at all. Peledish Nergen Kutramash Uke or whatnot.
Never talk about flowers.
Yeah. Okay, but now I've forgotten who. Wait. Yeah, Luan did the last one, so it's Sandra's turn.
Surim godem rebeza black in den kudal listed. During Surim, the young men ride with horses.
No, Sonja.
Moroženiem kilogram dené kočkan kirtam. I can eat ice cream in kilos.
Yeah, by the kilo or
by
so.
the kilos.
Yeah.
By the kilo.
Yeah, very good. Then Valentina.
Origami urokishto kagas dené kaikim ishtashtunemenna. So during the origami lesson, we learned to make birds out of paper.
Yeah. Then Luan.
Is a yam godem yalishte anyan in the nam. So when I was little, I lived in the village like for a week. Oh.
Yeah, I
didn't really get this. Is it like during the week, like during like the work days? I am in the village, or is it like I was 1 week in the village, or?
Yeah, I mean, let me just double check what the exercise key says here. I spent weeks in the countryside when I was little. So I mean, it's like, I think it's more like in the sense of like in the summertime, we spent some weeks in the summertime in the countryside or whatnot. And so if you say anya dene, it's like weeks, an unspecified number, because if it was just 1 week, you would say ik anya or so. Yeah. Okay, then Sandra.
Kofwe yume dene marin kolpen ankert. I cannot fall asleep due to coffee consumption.
Yep. Then Sonja.
Ce cum Untitled Mari silnamat deene lekcilias. Today at 6 o'clock, sorry, at 3 o'clock, something, I'm not sure about silnamut, some word like or piece of art.
No,
Work of
literature.
Literature.
I mean, it's
So-
actually, it's like what in German you'd call belletristik, which you could call like belle lettre or so, but I mean, I just translate it as literature, to be honest.
So the lecture of Mari will be about literature, or I don't know how to translate that.
Yeah, almost. It's like today at 3 o'clock, Liège, there will be lecture.
A lecture on Mari literature.
That's it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Then Valentina.
Then Рошто дене тендам салам лем. So I wish you a Merry Christmas.
Exactly. And then Luan, the last one.
Kogecha godem me avaidena era monim chialtena. So during Easter, me and my mother always color eggs.
Indeed. Okay, time for some compound words where we it's already said what they will be, and you should read them out and make sure that if you pronounce it clearly enough that I can see here if something is a p or a v, for example. And in one case, I will want you to spell it out, but you will probably know which one that is. Okay, and we start with Sandra.
Okay, so Ux and Ava will then be Mukshava.
Yep. Then Sonja.
Which is Schmut afterward.
Yep. Which it can also be postposition. It has both those meanings. Okay, then Valentina.
Rudala. Rudala.
Yep. Then Luan.
Tolvere.
Very good. Then Sandra.
Karma and Pongo. Karmevongo.
Very good. Then Sonja.
So Kargolya, because the r works as a vowel. Yeah.
Indeed, like it's a voiced consonant, a voiced sound, and any voiced sound will cause it, not just vowels, but also r or z or whatnot. But then is Valentina.
So Partgaik, sparrow.
Can you say it again?
Or maybe because there is a T, then the K stays, right?
Exactly.
Partgaik. I get it. Partgaik.
Yeah, but I have actually seen Partgaik with a G where I would say it's almost by analogy that people have, like, there's so many compounds where you have the fricativization that even if the phonological motivation isn't there, by analogy, Mari speakers will make that same, will do that. Yeah, then Luan.
Yet tuve.
Yeah, was that already the answer? Yeah, Yut tuver, no, it does not, it stays to. Right, then Sandra.
Is this literally head curds?
Yes, indeed. And I like that for brain, that in German, it would be like the Kopftopfen, or the Kopfquark. Yep.
Does it just stay like this? Vuitorik?
No,
Is y a voiced?
it is. So
Okay, I wouldn't have guessed.
Yeah.
So Vujdorek.
Vujdorek, indeed. Okay.
And it's my turn, I suppose. And since you haven't asked about a spelling, I suppose this one will be with a spelling. And I think it'll be with the hard sign in between because
Exactly.
keeping or pertaining the pronunciation business. Yang.
Indeed. Business yang is how we do it. Okay, and now it's just about translating these compounds, starting with Valentina.
Okay, so Kovakocha, it's the grandparent.
Then, yeah, Luan.
Kokum 2 to 3.
And then Sandra.
Vatamari, the married couple.
And Sonia.
Judwel Kaswel. Is it not something like southwest?
Almost.
No. Noon and midnight. No.
You had the right thought, but what is Judwel?
Judwel would be the north.
Exactly.
The northwest.
That is correct.
Yeah, sorry, thank you.
Yeah, so the Mari cardinal directions are comparatively easy because they actually tell you where the sun is. They only get complicated if you go to the southern hemisphere, where I have never talked to Mari as if they find it confusing, but I would think not. Valentina?
So Kidiol, hands and feet.
Yeah. So this would be like, I mean, in English, we don't really have a good word for it. But in German, there'd be Gliedmaßen, like extremities in English does exist, but yeah. Right, then Luan?
Naranja, Yoshkaga, orange.
Exactly, so the color that is between yellow and red. And then Sandra?
Kuzetovar. I forgot both of these words, so.
Wait, both of these words are what?
I forgot them.
Okay. It's Küse is knife and Tovar is axe.
Okay, so all the cutting stuff?
All the cutting stuff, like including also scissors and whatnot. Okay, then Sonia.
Ilaka Kushka. Sorry, I will just check the words. Ilaka. Is it like up and down?
Indeed, it is. Then Valentina.
So Ludash Vozash, read and write.
And the last one, Luan.
Ojalashna lashes to dread.
Oops, I dropped my, what was it? Scissors. So something from the Küse Tovar category. Okay, I think we'll skip the next one because there are more interesting, important ones coming up. But here it is, just we have these paired, like these pairings of verbs that are inflected, and both should be inflected appropriately when they are used in a sentence. Number 11, now we have these adjective, these adverbial forms, and starting with Sandra, let's translate these.
Pedula minyar jab shugiltat. How much time can you stand on one foot?
That's it. Okay, and then if you say Sonia, Valentina, Luan, Sandra, if you can continue, I need to go and turn on the light, but I'm still listening.
It's important to know that Jeremy is listening so that we get the feedback. Ik allen ballemem gandielmem shkaviatunemem. So I would say like a friend of mine is learning.
Oh, studied past tense.
Okay, sorry, studied Hamdi And I wonder what shkevuya is.
So literally it is with their own head.
So
But it
it's
just
like
means-
self-study.
Exactly, autodidactically on their own.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, then Valentina.
Tigai Uraniste Kemiola Vele Kostash Liesh. So maybe in such rainy weather, you can go out or walk only in boots.
Then Luan.
Unala Yaragida Ogit Kost. So as a guest, you like don't come empty-handed.
Yeah, exactly. Which is always very tricky when going to Russia. It's like, I mean, they know that foreigners are not don't know the customs and don't necessarily have a gift for everyone, but it is hell if you are visiting there and you get not just gifts for you, but also for all your friends and whatnot in Vienna, and you had better plan to have a checked bag or something on your return flight if you have one. Okay, but Sandra now.
Sureta unshili buya kitcha alamo. What was Sureta again?
Picture painting in this case.
Okay. Maybe your painting is hanging upside down?
Yep.
With a head.
Exactly.
Upside down. Unshuli voya ogil kulesh semen kitcha tide abstractionism. It's not upside down. It must hang like this.
Yeah, it's hanging as it should.
It's hanging as it should, and it's abstract art.
Yeah, just as a note here, this kulesh can also be an adjective or noun. And so kulesh semen is as needed, as it should, or so. So it's, even though it originally was a verb, it's not used as one here, and thus it's coupled with the postposition. Okay, then Sonia.
Azar in der lat ik der zash godem neliola nushkashtemalish. I'm not sure if Azza is a name or it's a name for a word for a baby or
it's baby.
something. Baby. Baby starts crawling on all four at the age of 9 to 11 months. But it's weird. I think at this age they almost start walking, but
I mean
they crawl before.
I'm not an expert in this, but it also strikes
me neither.
Yeah.
Okay, the guy pitchkemiste kichuma vele kayashliash. So in such darkness, you can only walk basically by feeling of your hands or just touching around.
Yeah. So it's like if you are like, you wake up in the middle of the night and are heading to the toilet and you don't want to turn the lights on and you're just like feeling your way through an apartment. That's kichuma. Right, then Luan.
So it's boring to live by yourself.
Yeah, not written by an introvert, this sentence. And Sandra.
Sorry, I missed the translation. What was it?
It's by yourself, not it's boring to live with your own.
It's boring to live on your own.
That's true. Get some goats. I think you won't get bored. Charayola it kost kilmat.
Oh, sorry. Actually, it's Sandra's turn. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, you already started, and
okay, wait. We can do it, Sonia. You can do it.
Okay, sorry, Sandra. Charayola. So like with don't go with bare feet, and it's freezing.
Yeah,
or they will freeze, like
you will
feet.
freeze, but I mean it also can mean like to catch a cold. You'll catch a cold basically if you go barefoot. Okay, great. Yeah, let's do these because they are somewhat tricky, and we'll start now with Valentina.
Sorry, I was turning on the light and I missed the exercise.
Yeah, sorry, it's just translating, and now we are looking at these emphatic deverbal adverbial forms.
Okay. So Vanya, uroky što tu nikdyšim kolištin kolištide kolištde šinča. So during the lesson, Vanya, can I say, is listening to the teacher with all ears.
No, it's
the opposite.
The opposite. So
it's not paying any attention at all to the teacher.
Yeah, he's like listening, not listening, sort of kind of on and off, sometimes listening, but not really properly. Okay, then Luan.
Salgodem, Chilan, Kochkin, Kochte, Illinet. So during the war, everyone lived without having something to eat.
Yeah, yeah, but I mean here it's like it always means sometimes doing, sometimes something not. So it's like you didn't have, like they didn't have constant access to food, which isn't to say that they went like years without eating, but it's like eating and like not eating. Yeah. Okay, then Sandra.
It's the third, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Kom I Shijamen Erten Kayesh. Like 3 years.
3 years?
Is she they?
No, the 3 years they're the subject actually. 3 years.
Went by quite imperceptibly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, then Sonia.
Antarctidisch may wuchadaman logalium. So it's past tense, and logalash is to touch.
Yeah, or like to find oneself somewhere, to end up somewhere.
I ended up in Antarctica sort of unexpectedly.
Yeah, not entirely sure how this happened, but there's a story here that we're not hearing. Okay, Valentina.
Petian kalaskal lemejim oshanen oshanede kolishted. I'm not sure, but I think it means that Piotr, maybe Pietr's speech sounded a bit suspicious, because I have Ushanen Ushanida as suspicious.
Yeah, it's so they
listen
to Petya's words like
suspiciously.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, literally is believing.
Didn't believe.
So
yeah,
like,
in disbelief.
Skeptical.
Skeptical. Yeah.
Okay, then Luan.
Planem des chaplet ilia no inishishte chilla shonen dimen lectin. So my plan was like very splendid, but in life everything happens like unexpectedly.
Yeah, very good. Then Sandra.
Is this a ta PM Lude Nialta? Little Sveta petted the dog fearlessly.
Yeah, no, it's more like sort of fearing, not fearing, sort of with a bit of fear, like. Yeah. Okay, then Sonia.
Uremse yüküyen verchen yedvost malen.
Sorry, sentence 8.
Yeah, sorry. Ujar shudo koideman narancheman. Green grass looks like or doesn't look like turns yellowish. The green grass turns yellowish. Otherwise, I don't know how to translate that.
Yeah, so the green grass turns yellow perceptibly, imperceptibly is what it literally it is.
So
and it's
without
sort of like,
noticing it, or
yeah, sort of like,
kind of like slowly,
gradually, slowly, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Valentina, the last one.
Okay. Uremse yüküyen verchen yedvost malen malidekienam. So I was lying, sleeping, not sleeping all night because of the noise in the street.
Yeah, exactly. So we translate it as tossing and turning, but I mean, it's like the kind of situation when it's not like you don't get any sleep at all, but you keep waking up and whatnot. Or if you're saying that you took a night train and they ask you how, and somebody asks you how did you sleep, and you said it's like, it's not like you're guaranteed that you got 0 sleep, but you certainly didn't get a good night's sleep. So yeah. Okay, exercise 13, translating into Mari. We're going to skip this one, but this is where you can then practice the 2 of us, the 3 of us, the 4 of us, the 5 of us forms that we had. And yeah, let's still do number 14, starting with Luan.
So direktolan mom schon mem tunam eulen kishgenam in the pashada postnashinchem. So wait, I no, I'm trying to figure. Oh, okay. So like I like, oh my God, I already forgot like like the convert part we had like on Friday. So what exactly was the meaning of?
Okay,
like,
so we have kushkash is we have 3 verbs here: kushkash, shuash, and kudaltash. All 3 of them mean to throw, and when used as modifiers in a spectral converb constructions, they denote that you do something with a certain lack of control.
Okay, so I like spoke to the director with no.
Yeah.
Wait.
You can ignore the tunam. It's just like then
okay. Oh, like oh, I like told the director like what I was thinking.
Yeah.
And now wait, I like something without work, like I sit there.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now I'm sitting here without a job because
Oh,
I told him.
Oh, this is okay.
Yeah. Because I told the director.
Oh, okay, now I get it.
Yeah. I told the director what I think, but possibly I wasn't carefully choosing my words and as such, and thus the need for the converb construction. Okay, then Sandra.
Tide pasham bashkara kishten shuo da kanash kai. Get this work done more quickly and go chill.
Yeah, exactly. And you're basically like here, you're implying that you don't care very much if you do it properly. Just get it done, basically. However, then Sonia.
Lasse vaslimash nergen yershen monden kudaltushen about tomorrow's meeting. Mondash is forget.
Mhm.
And I'm not sure about Yersh.
Yershen is
Yershen.
completely.
Completely. Okay, so I completely like forgotten. Entirely forgot. I've entirely forgotten about tomorrow's meeting.
Mhm. Right. Then Valentina.
Ti de vaze pe sherge saira kucho volten ichuo.
Mhm.
So this vase is very expensive. Keep it dearly, kind of carefully.
Mhm.
Don't drop it.
Yeah, like hold on to it tight. Don't
Don't
drop
do
it.
it like it.
Yeah. Yeah. And so it's like, I mean, voltage can be dropped, but voltage could be intentional or unintentional. Volten
Get rid of it.
has to be
Yeah.
dropping somebody something intentionally. Unintentionally, sorry. Okay, then Luan.
Snegem Thatcher Tesh Pisen Ocean and Kudaltenam. So today I sold the strawberries very quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like here, if you ask me why you have the modifier here, I'm not sure, but it's like I didn't even, maybe it's like to say I didn't even have to invest a whole lot of effort. They just kind of, they went without me doing much for it. Okay, then the last one goes to Sandra.
Jotashim dene już kunam vorsetil kishkena genat. Which minute gets perja vostilena. So even if is Yushkunam like sometimes?
Yeah.
Okay. Even if we sometimes, like my friend and I sometimes fight with each other, after 5 minutes we are back. Yeah, I don't know what was the lashes, to be honest.
To laugh. We are laughing together.
Oh, we're laughing again together.
Okay, great. So last point here is this text about Shorik Yol. I wouldn't mind reading it, but it's been a while. It's pretty late. So I'll let the group decide. Do people want to do it, or have we done enough?
I think I need to go because I need to go to the office tomorrow morning. So sorry about that.
Okay, but so
we can keep it for next time.
Yeah, we can. If we end up having time next time, because there's not that much grammar, we can still do that. Okay, great. Then I think I'm going to stop the recording for now. So yeah, if we do it next time, then I'll do it in a separate recording and attach it to this so that it's all in one file for chapter 38. Okay, so so everybody watching chapter 38, this, depending on what we decide to do next week, this is either the end of the video or there's still the YouTube thing coming next. And I'm stopping the recording. So welcome back one last time in this chapter. To finish it all off, we are still going to read the little text, the transcript from a news report, where there's also a link for the YouTube clip there. And we'll start with reading and translating it with Luan.
Januar Paremlon Motkoch Boyang like January is like rich in celebration.
And Sonia?
Mari Kalik Tidatelism Shorik Yol Manish. So the Mari people call this month Shorik Yol, which is the sheep lick.
Then Sandra?
Laatstid parem in Tinglan Shotlaltish. Okay. Indeed, this holiday is considered the most important.
Yep, exactly. So this Lach is like focusing or something. It is like German genau, sort of like just this holiday, exactly this holiday is considered the main one. Okay, and Valentina?
Uzeu kegin vet shorikjol marikalekin onchikel lik ilishijim palemden. Maybe that's not surprising.
Yeah.
After all, shorikjol is maybe the first or the foremost celebration in the life of the Mari people.
Almost. So the Mari, so Shorik Yol, Palemden showed Mari Kaleken on
the future.
The
Okay,
future
so
life
the future
of
of the Mari people.
Yeah, exactly. So then back to Luan.
Wait, sorry, but which sentence?
Kalaseman.
Oh, okay. So Kalaseman, Shorigol, Kashna Ian, Ixemen, Ogash. So like one has to like say Shorigol like doesn't come equally every year.
Yeah, exactly. So it's what they mean is it's not a fixed date. It depends on the calendar and how exactly. Sonia will tell that. Say that.
Shorikjol kažna ien examen August. Sorry, tudo u tulse schutzmecke gugarnia tingalish. This new month. Sorry, it starts on Friday. I suppose it's like the first Friday after the new moon.
That's how I would interpret it. Yeah. I would have to check this to make to be completely sure that I think they mean like the new moon and not the new month, the beginning of the new month, because then they'd say the new year. Yeah, then Sandra.
Mutlan teni data barem ikimshe git shimshe yan varmate shoinen. For example, last year this celebration stretched from the 1st to the 7th of January.
Almost this year, not last year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but otherwise it was perfect. Then Valentina.
Alemdiman tideperem kechinimogai pasham ishtiman ogil. So it should be noticed should be noted that on the day of the celebration, no work should be done.
Yes, my kind of holiday. Then Luan.
Moren kushtiman modman unablakim gena seleman tiga anya muchko shwinishash. So like one like only has to dance or like sing and dance to play and to like treat the guests and like wait, so like this the week oh wait, no. Sorry.
Yeah, so like this the whole week.
Oh, okay. Like stretches out, whatever.
Yeah, like this, it must stretch itself out throughout the whole week. So the whole week should be like this, is what they're basically saying.
Okay.
Also, I mean, to me, this sounds a lot like work. And you just said we should not be doing any work. Okay, then Sonia.
Užgam tupela chien shirgim petren pairemen dink jengjevlak surtkach surtish koshtunat. So the fur coat is worn inside out, and I don't remember what shirk. The face is covered, or they cover the face, and so the people of the feast go from house to house or from farm to farm, and I'm
Yeah.
not quite sure about this thing.
Tung, I mean, the primary meaning is stem, but it can also mean main. So it's like the main people of the feast, like the masters of the celebration or whatnot, the people who are organizing all the festivities. So then, Sandra?
Nunem türlü rayonlaştı türlü senin dat, kara meçer vaslikova den kugeza da tulechmolat. They carry different names in different regions. Kara meçer vaslikova and vaslikogeza and others.
Yeah. So something that seems to be just a really weird coincidence, as far as I can tell, is that there's like a somewhat similar custom among the Welsh, where they go to house with various masks, which is called wassailing. And it seems I cannot find any etymological or cultural connection or so with the whole Vasli Kuva thing, which is bizarre, but yeah.
Synchronicity, probably.
What do you say?
Synchronicity.
Yeah.
Just sort of the same custom, the same period.
Yeah, but the name is so similar, so weird. But yeah, okay. So it was Valentina's turn.
Yeah. Navlak surta vlakim idalik muchko ishtim pashashtim akleni. Guests assess the work done by house owners throughout the year.
Yeah. So then, Luan.
So wait, Pashachim Mokdal Denet Yolagayim Lomishto Donald Terrain. So like they praise the workers. And
yeah, like or like the assiduous, the hard workers, those that were
yes,
that did good work and whatnot.
And they wait. Like turned. Oh no.
It is slightly violent.
Or,
what's
like
coming
turned
out.
around. Or wait, no. Turn like
more like rolling. It's like rolling but transitive.
Oh, so they roll. What was this? Yola guy.
Lazy.
Oh, so the lazy people in the snow.
Oh, exactly.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. Lazy people get knocked in the snow and rolled around, and that will show them. Okay, then Sonia.
Panem golden tilo yulam shuktat. So during the festival, people carry out or observe different customs.
And Sandra?
Oslo Mutlan Kajanish Lum Kavan Ishin. What was Kavan?
It's like a haystack, but like a hill or so. Like a snow pile is what it means.
Okay. In earlier times, for example, every family made a little snow pile.
Yeah. Then Valentina.
Umbakische shurnim keralinshinden. So I guess crops were placed above or on the pile, on top of the pile.
Yeah. So I mean, one thing what I'm not sure now is if kavan in the basic meaning, it means a haystack. So I'm not sure if they're just using it figuratively, like for a snow pile, or if the snow should really is made to resemble a haystack. Okay, but in any case, it's Luan's turn now. Starting from Tugai.
Wait. Tugai Yula Poyan Kinder Lektische Poa Mannen Ishanil. So wait. So, sorry, I'm having some trouble with the vocal. So, Ishanash was like, I forgot.
To believe.
Oh, yes. So, no. So they believe, like, no.
Yeah, they believed, or it was believed in an impersonal sense.
Yes.
Manen is that.
Yes. So that's like what? Like this, like the no. Sorry.
Okay, no worries. I can do the rest
Okay.
if you want.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, that tegayula, that such a custom, poyan kindelektischem pua, gives a rich grain harvest or so. Yeah, and this is just like really cool Mari syntax that we have here, or like, let's say Eastern type syntax, as it would look exactly the same in Tatar. So it's like, it was believed that is saying, as it is in like, you can go all the way to Buryat, and the gerund of to say is used as a complementizer, meaning that. And then what was believed? That tegayula, such a customs, pua, gives what? Poyan kindelektischem rich grain harvest or whatnot. So this is the classical read it all backwards number that one has to do. Okay, then Sonia.
Yeah, Jeremy, I think it's really cool that you are able to say, or you can say as a teacher in a very motivating way, that syntax can be cruel. No, but I think it's really nice for students. Like I try to do that with my students in English. So they 13, 14-year-old teenagers. Doesn't work that way, but sometimes it's nice. The gag ozavate vidashkelekten shoraken yoljen kuchen je gere pacham joden asamerek ieder vlak jedem shoreken rualten onchekelek belashisht nergen palen nalash dershen.
Okay, you now got what in German is called the Arschkarte. The asshole.
So the landlady left for the shed, or the place where the animals
like
kept.
she goes into the shed and
catches she caught the sheep by its leg. And required or asked for twin lambs and young girls. Younger girls grabbed at night the sheep, I suppose, also by legs. And they tried to find out about their future.
Yes, almost. Pelashish nergen.
I'm not sure about pelashish.
Okay, pelash is a noun. It means spouse.
Oh, about their future husbands again.
Exactly.
Yeah, we talked about it last time.
Okay, that's a very good translation of a tricky sentence. Okay, and this was just the beginning of the news clip. If you watch the rest of it, you can actually then still observe some of the other customs in practice. So I'm going to end the recording now. So everybody watching at home, see you in the next lesson.